they are earning some very good gigs online hapa. For example, Justice, let me tell you, I have some websites I run like part-time, and I hire Gen Zs to do work for me online, you see, and we pay them through this cross
Gen Zs are lazy. I
wait,
thank
no,
God you
no,
have. I thank God you have good
no.
ones. Gen Zs are lazy, lazy
Yes,
people,
because
lazy,
Justice,
lazy.
let me
I've never
explain
seen
what
anybody lazy other than Kenyan
let
Gen
me
Z.
explain to you what
Go ahead.
laziness means to you. So according Justice want you to stay on in front of the computer from 8 to 5 to make $100. But Gen Z, there is a way they can do that job in the shortest time possible in 30 minutes and earn the same amount. Alafu the rest of the day atafanya kazi yake. So that is what you old generation mnaita laziness. Being able to do the same job yenye wewe unafanya kwa ofisi 8 to 5, yeye anataka kuifanya in 30 minutes so you can do other things. Una get, eh? So that is my submission. Usiwahi ita hawa Gen Z nini broke. These are
Lazy
rich kids.
broke people,
These are rich
Let me say
Nyamaza.
kids.
something to
Okay,
Japonia.
I'll bring in other people. Okay, George come in, and then Femi and
Before justice,
Abdullah
justice,
hand is over. Yeah,
justice.
go ahead,
I
George.
think
Go ahead, George.
I I think Japonji Justice is talking about it.
Japan is a Gen Z. That's why I
It's
can't
all
even
good, all
I
good.
can't even pay attention to him. He's completely lost. He's a lost kid.
I understand what he's saying. Like they have their own way of doing things, maybe more efficiently than
The wrong way. They have the
the,
wrong
the,
way of doing
the
things.
yeah. But Justice is talking about the worth of Gen Z. Get me? If you look at the people who own the property, people who run the people who are in the high positions, it's not Gen Z. Yes, you might do a gig and get that 180,000, but you're not paying rent. You're living at home with your parents or something like that. So that he's talking about what, but it's true. There are many. So even if they contribute the little they have, it can amount to a lot. So I think, yeah, we can't call them broke, but yeah, because they're the ones in the workforce as well. Um, but they don't have as much. I understand what Justice is saying. They don't have as much as the millennials or Gen X. That's for sure.
George, do you know what my push is in these spaces? And I'm here to help. Of course, my friend, you guys know have some good fondness with Leon. I'm here to help her. The point I'm making is that yes, you have a point as Gen Zs, but you cannot have a point with discriminating some of us. I My first earning nikipata kazi na pesa was the year 2000, the year 2000. Okay, you guys were not even born. Some of you were not even born, but some of you are even you're in the diapers. So can you stop discriminating against other people by embracing so that we become a team together? George, continue. I just want the point to know that he was in his diapers when I was earning money. Please
But
go ahead,
Justice,
George.
what's my age? How old am I, Justice?
You're such a freaking Gen Z. I don't Gen Z.
Just,
You're
just
probably
let
and
me give you a hint. Just let me give you a hint.
no when you
Wait.
when you
Just a
when
hint.
you
Just a
when you
hint.
when you
Wait.
served in the
I
military.
give you a hint.
I know your
No.
story. I know your story.
Yeah.
When
So
you
when
served in the military,
that was
you
2007. So you can calculate
oh
from there.
shit. Oh yeah, yeah. You're probably 13. Oh sorry, 29 now. 31.
37.
They can be 37. Can it be 37? It can
Yeah,
be 37.
alituambia juzi.
Yeah,
Oh,
37, 37.
oh, so 10 years younger than. Okay, yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, okay, okay. I give you much credit than I was giving you before. Now I give you credit after this. Okay, 37 is good. 37 is good. You should have at least mtoto mwenye ako 17 years old. Please, if you don't have, you are wrong. Go ahead, George. But I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I'm surprised actually that Japonji is that. How do you blend very well with these kids of 20s? How, how, how do you blend with the Mutais and the Leols?
The
Age is
common
in the
cause.
mind. Age is in
They,
the mind.
Go
yeah,
ahead,
and
go, go ahead,
they have a
George. But let me tell you, I somebody came to my house the other day. Now, you story. I've shared that story with everybody. Um, No, let me not say that because Leo will be mad. Go ahead, George. Talk. I don't. They're friends. I don't want to make mad. But
Yeah.
karibuni nyote. Anybody who has just joined us, please join us. We are really gonna make this conversation. Aitaka sana. We are not doing a big space, but we want us to do like, where is your money? George
But
Maliza alafu
Justice,
Femi,
1 second,
and
just before Judge comes in, Justice,
then
I
Femi after
Justice,
that, and then
Justice,
Abdul. Okay.
Justice,
Yeah,
before
go ahead.
Judge comes in, I know you are a little bit educated on language. So if you have calculator near you,
A
I
little bit
want you
educated.
to I want to I know you
A
don't
little bit
like maths.
educated.
Justice, you don't like maths. I know that. Right? So
No,
I
I'm
want
a
you to do
math.
a simple math.
I'm a math professor. What do you mean I don't like math?
Okay, okay, let's not go there because I eat maths. Maths is my dinner and supper sometimes. So let me ask you a simple question. Huh? Assuming 10 million Gen Z or youths in Kenya each contribute, okay, uh, contribute like let's say 1,000 bob, okay.
Mhm.
So how much will that be? If they were to send that for campaigns for Maraga, how much is that?
The answer is that they
10
won't.
million, 1,000, a
Yeah,
thousand
10
each,
million,
10 million.
thousand is gonna be
Yeah.
like some 1 trillion, something like that.
Na
But
unaona hesabu ilikuangusha. Unaona sasa Justice, that is 10
sorry,
billion. That is 10 billion.
billion.
That
Okay,
is enough
that's
for
fine.
five presidential candidates to campaign. So now I want you to reduce that to 500 per person for 10 million. Let's reduce each atoe 500 bob. Hiyo ni pesa ngapi? Hiyo ni 5 billion. So I mean that's on the highest level. So that's how you play with numbers. Then it will make sense to you. Okay, you can go. Thanks.
On you.
The point, can I? You guys go.
Chapunji, let me ask you one
Osea
question
go.
for
Then we
Chapunji.
bring Femi back because I'm ngoja sana. So Osea, go ahead. What are we
Okay,
doing here?
Chapunji, do you know that maybe the few Gen Zs here on online X knows only about Maraga?
Yes.
Those Gen
village
Z
in the village they don't know
in the
Maraga.
villages, they don't know. There are those Gen Zs who are not involved in
hata
X.
wanashtuka ukitaja jina Maraga wanashtuka. They don't
They're
even
not
know what
even
that is.
interested in joining the X space was care who is Maraga. They are just maybe Wakotu, maybe Facebook, or maybe, So not all Gen Z will support Maraga.
we will cross the
Okay, let's
bridge when
agree
we
on
reach
this.
there.
And the
But why
Gen
are
Zs
we
again,
funding?
secondly,
Why are we looking for the money now? Why are we looking for the money now? Isn't it for that
To
purpose?
popularize. Yes, to
I'm telling you this,
popularize.
Because
not
it's
all Gen
poor.
Zs support Maraga. For real.
We are looking for money because it's
Not
poor.
all, not all Gen Zs will support Maraga. That's the
That
truth.
is very true.
Yes, and not
That is
all
the
of them
truth.
will support Matiangi.
We know. But Matiang is popular than Maraga
No, that's your
even in the
agenda.
region
I
where I
see
come
that's
from.
your agenda, Matiangi. But he is not going to succeed.
I'm aware it's not going to succeed. But
I was
Maraga
waiting for the
is not
Matiang
going to.
people. I was waiting for the Matiang people. Now I have them. Go ahead. The Matiang people. What do you mean? Can I? You guys? No.
First of all, we have these two guys, Maraga and Matiang, coming from the same region, from the same community. Why
No, you're the one
can't
bringing
we look?
community here. No, you're the one bringing community.
Yes, they are Kenyans. Why can't we look who is popular? And then we start. We say
Popular
this.
politics ended a long time ago. Please, we want issues. We want issues.
Zipora. Wait,
We are not here for popularity.
If you wanted someone popular, then we'll just stay with Ruto. Thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Zipora-san, you are really making this wrong because you're saying, coming from the same community. Nobody's looking at Maraga and Matiang'i as from the same community. We're looking at them as one killed people and put them in River Yala. The other one is like probably was bold enough to tell the Kenyan population that no.
One worked for the government that is killing Kenyans.
Okay. Which one?
Matiangi is the one.
Matiang'i hajaifanya kazi kwa serikali ya Ruto. lakini Maraga amewahi fanya kazi kwa hiyo
No,
serikali.
that's not true. I wish
Come on.
huyu jamaa mwingine anaitwaje? What's my the lawyer guy?
Justice, can I respond to them?
No, please let's have Femi Pad and then you come in, because I wanted huyu academia kuje aseme it's a requirement by law written in articles of the constitution that after you have retired as a even if you are retired as a kama ni mtu unaitwa chief justice, if the government gives you an assignment you do it. It's a law, it's a requirement by law. So please, hii kitu Sporasan is saying, it has nothing to do with anything. Femi Bad, I call her my little girl. Lakini hata kuna mahali unikosea kitambo, like many years ago, lakini siku hizi we have mended our faces. What's up, girl?
Kukosana ni kujuana, Justice. Anyway, I think you guys, this time I kind of leaning with Japoj. One.
Why? Are you? He's
One,
single. He doesn't. He's single.
Maraga is financial. His financial status is weak, but in terms of politics nowadays, it's not about the money; it's about the number, and the number that are behind him, behind Maraga. It's very interesting. Meaning, their campaign is not going to be handout based; it's going to be logic. Meaning, you'll be exposed to every radio station, you'll be exposed to every TV station, you'll be exposed to any podcast in Kenya. That means data is the key here. We saw what Trump and what is her name? Kamala. Actually, Trump won because of the social side, the social media side, not because he had money. And that is what we are looking at. So this time, Maraga has the full force behind him. He has the Gen Z, huko words, huko information, flow of information. And then we have people who are not even in the same gen that he is in, and he's also attracting them. Meaning that the budget you are looking at is not for campaigning. The budget you are looking for him is for enabling him for movement, not to pay where he's moving, but to move, meaning he'll use less money as any other politician has used before. This guy has advantages from all sides of the conversation.
Femi, you know my kid's name, so I'm gonna pretend like I'm my kid and ask you a question based. This is what Walt. No, Nick will ask you this question. Femi Bad, how does Maraga win? So can you answer that? How does he win?
Very simple. We are talking about Maraga now, and he has not paid us.
How does he win? How does he win? How does he win?
Look at the number of people who are. How many people are on your space now? The total number of people.
And there are many more coming because I'm here to support my friends.
And he has not paid you to campaign for him. How many people are tweaking and tweeting about Maraga and they are not paid?
Okay, I'll call you my
Justice. Just give me a minute.
Go ahead.
Justice, you see, the good thing about supporting Maraga now is someone cannot come and tell you that you've been paid because Maraga said here kona 1 or 2 million.
How does he win?
Wait. I will give you the formula now. So now, Justice, I'll give you the formula.
Chaponji, even me, I've not been paid by Matiang'i.
Please,
let me give you the formula. Matiang'i akona pesa huru. Let me give you the formula.
Unajuaje akona pesa ya huru kwani Maraga hana pesa ya
whatever commute people, we are fine. Guys, Leol and Edu, please stop muting people. This is a fun conversation.
Go ahead. Good. We cannot drive in cows. Let one person talk at a time.
Yeah, let me finish. Give me a minute only. Yeah? Let me debunk Zipora Kwanza. Let me debunk Zipora, then I move on. Zipora, yes, let me respond like this. Zipora, one question to you, Zipora San. One question only. What is the net worth of Maraga? When he was asked that, what did he say? What is his net worth? Please tell me. I hope you can hear me. Zipora,
No,
what is the network of Maraga?
conveniently, he can't hear you. Conveniently.
Yeah,
Now,
okay. Now that one, see, now he's silenced. Very good. Now let's move on. I know he cannot answer that.
that's how
So
you
let's
that's
move
how
on.
you
So
silence people. That's how you
yes,
silence.
I do that all the time. So justice, this is the formula, okay?
Yeah,
So number
Japoji,
one,
let me into my point so that we can go on.
No,
okay,
question for you,
okay. I
Chapoch. Yeah,
just wanted to
Chapoch.
give the
I
formula
have been
for
You
Maraga.
know
interrupted
when
before I finished. So the winning formula for Maraga is very simple. He has the social media, he has the ground, and he has everyone who wants a change. He does not need money. He only needs popularity in the generation that was not there when he was a CJ. And you are doing it right now. We are in a space discussing a man who has not paid us. We are in a space we are discussing a man, not in terms of politics, but not culturally, but his previous work. Meaning he has a track record, he has favor from people, and then again, he has the generation, young generation, supporting him. For Matiangi, the generation he is in is the generation that he came in and changed the whole education system. So they have reserved they have a reservation for him. And then again, we have his association with the previous government, making it hard for him to win Maraga. Maraga is already, I think he's already skyrocketing. He's winning. This time politics in Kenya will be something very different.
Anyway, wacha niache ndio sasa Japonja ako hapa juu. Yani Leol and a drop the other boy from being
Justice,
a
can you
co-host.
focus?
I'm not focusing because I know what you
Wase
just
wameinua
did.
mikono.
No,
Kenya ni
I know what you just
kuhuru.
did. No. I have to call you out. I will have to call you out. So now you think the only people you're interested in is Japonji and myself.
Now,
I'm more interested in
justice,
Japonji, by the way.
focus, kiasi.
No,
Justice,
you may focus. But by the way, but let's focus on the thing. How does Maraga get the money? And the thing, please give people. I like Japonji. Japonji is an honorable person in our team. So as people have raised their hands, but talk about campaign financing. Campaign financing is a big deal. Femi Bad, ndakutafuta. When I'm in your neighborhood, are you married? Femi, are you
Justice,
married?
mtaongea hiyo kando. Can we play football?
Sahii tuko Maraga.
justice, focus.
Enyewe saa hii tuko Matiang'i.
Tuko Maraga Matiang'i. Okay, go ahead, Japonji. Japonji,
No,
thanks.
okay. Let me spear this way. Okay, just give me a moment. I think George, you are next. Sorry, I had interjected you. George, move on, and then we go to Abdallah. Then we go to Hosea in that order. Then we can make some good progress. Go on.
Thank you, Sir Japonj. Justice, focus, man. Where's your head, bro? Where is your head?
I didn't think you were here. Onojo, when you were here, I focused when you were here because you and me have been through the trenches, right?
That's true. That's true. When it comes to, I just wanted to answer your question. Back to something. When it comes to raising money for Maraga, that's not going to be a problem. I'm telling you, because as I heard some a few days ago, if this election becomes a horse race, it doesn't matter who's running against Ruto. That person is going to win regardless. Get me? Because the raising of money wouldn't even be a thing for the person who's going against the current incumbent. It would be a matter of popularity.
George, a quick interruption. It's gonna be a 3-horse race. This thing is getting messed up, so it's gonna be a 3-horse race, and that's where my problem is. It's gonna be 3. It's gonna be 3.
I think as it comes closer, it will shape up to. They'll definitely have to.
No, the Wamunyoro and the other guys, they will have their own candidate.
Thank you.
Please,
That's
please,
why.
please,
That's
please listen to me. Please listen to me for a second before you respond. And then the Maraga, who is a hardliner, I think it's a hardliner, would have his own side. And then, of course, we have the Ruto side. So the fear you need to address is what happens when the Wamnyoro has a candidate, Maraga team has a candidate, and the Ruto has a candidate. So don't do 2 horse race. It's a 3 horse race.
yes. At currently, as we speak, that's how it looks. But in every election, it always boils down to 2 people who are the most. So either Maraga will become the most popular, or the Wamunyoro team will become whoever they popular. So, but whoever it is, it doesn't matter who it is, that person's gonna win, because this election is not gonna be based on values and manifestos. It's based on one thing: the entire population will just want to punish. That's what it will get me. So, raising money for Maraga, yeah, we can raise money for posters, flyers, and things like that. He's at the head of the race at the moment. The Wamunyoro team, if they need the Gen Z support, they will have to rally behind whoever the Gen Z choose. If they choose Maraga, then the Wamunyoro people will have to be faced with no option but to rally behind that, because that's where the numbers will be. Whoever the Gen Z support, that's where the numbers will be. So Wamunyoro will either have to play ball or come on board and all them. And that brings me to the second thing I wanted to throw your way, and you had started it. It was about a cabinet. 21 slots currently. We were talking about health and stuff like that. I think if you divide that cabinet into 5 slots for the political class, 10 slots for the professional, the actual professional, maybe like 7 slots or 6 slots for the Gen Z population. I would want to hear, because if you put a cabinet together, then you include everyone. And there were Monero Expresses, guys, actual people working, because there can only be one, but there can be a team, a very strong cabinet that can transition this country to a different world. That's why I was asking, out of the 21 said you can do health or something like that. There are 2 guys that I know that these guys should be in this cabinet for sure. One is a guy called Washington, the guy who designed the transport system in London, played a very big part in it, the transport system in London. Another guy is Victor Miner, very popular engineer in Japan. He's the one who builds all the bridges and stuff like that. Those are guys that should be the CS and PS of transport infrastructure already by merit and what they've done so far. So that's where I was trying to get the conversation trying to pick up.
Yes, no, yeah. You see, you're saying the same thing that I was telling Femi Bad, that I have been a data person for a public consulting group for the state, a whole state, state of Ohio, for home health companies in the entire state. I can give you 10 million for a campaign. How much is gonna? Let me pick one. Let me not discriminate. But how much is a Gen Z gonna give?
Justice, I can give 10K.
10,000 shillings. 10,000 shillings. 10,000.
No,
No,
I can give
one
100K.
second, guys. I think we did that month, and we realized that Justice is not very good at maths. So Justice, could you come for maths
I know
classes?
what you're trying to do.
And let Abdallah speak, Yasi. Then I will take you back to maths class. For now,
Okay.
Abdullah. For now, Justice. The homework I'm giving you, Justice,
I
is
agree.
this.
I agree.
I
I
want you
agree
to
with you.
take. I want you to take
I
only
agree with you.
5 million Gen Zs, and each contributes 1,000, and then you tell me the number that you get as we listen to Abdullah. Abdullah, take the mic, please. Thank you.
Ah, thank you. Thank you.
Point. You're
Thank
going to
you.
heaven. Yeah, go ahead, Abdullah.
Umetumia nini?
I only let you speak because I think I want you to be my mentee. I want you to be in my team.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No issues. I will be there. So the thing is, I do not see campaign financing as a big problem for Gen Zs. We have done Mantamano and they have tried to look for financiers, even from Ford Foundation, from Uhuru Kenyatta or Munyoro. They have not gotten anyone. So, and we are not, okay, Gen Zs are not that broke anyway. So Gen Zs can still contribute. However, there's no need of having a generation where people have money, but only 2 or 3 people or 10 people can contribute. Gen Zs might be average, but everyone will contribute the small amount. Then you find that we have enough funds. So the thing is, we have also been even taking care of those people who have been hurt in the streets, and because the government has decided not to do that. It is their job, but it has decided not to do it. The thing is, we need to understand what makes campaigns expensive, because the figure that you gave us around 7 billion or 10 billion or 5 billion of campaign, that's not what the Maraga team is going to do. No, the reason is, one, what makes campaigns very expensive is because of bribery and people buying votes. So ile 50-50 ya kupea watu 200 sometimes in Nairobi you find that someone can use close to $1 million or half a million. But for us, the Maraga team, the Maraga people, we are not going to do that. So that will make it more cheaper. No paid crowds or staged rallies. So you just need, as Femi said, you just need fuel to go there. We don't need to fool people that there are supporters there if they are not. If people want to elect, they will. If they do not want, then we go on with the same issues that we have. There's another thing that makes also campaign very expensive. It's traditional media na hizi advertisement na hizo mingi. Personally, me do not watch TV. I do not listen to radio. So if they are targeting Gen Z, they will not get them there. We will generate the content with zero cost on TikTok and on X and other social media. So there's no need to have it. Another thing is on bloggers. Personally, me, I'm tweeting about Maraga and I've not been paid anything. And so are so many others. Legacy politicians pay bloggers to do it, that job. We are also going to do on volunteers. So you don't need to pay agents. Personally, I will be, unless there's another person where I will vote, I will be Maraga's agent there and I'm not waiting to be paid. So, previously, people take election as a way to milk politicians. I normally, around when I was young, people could target in terms of political seme sasa tuna make pesa from politicians. There's
Unajua the mistake you guys have done, Abdullah and Leo is one of them, and then you guys have turned this space to be a Maraga space. So you think Maraga is not winning.
He's the front runner right now. You need to understand.
Front runner for what?
Let me tell you why.
Tell them the truth.
Front runner for what?
Tell them the truth.
Let me tell you.
Maraga will not win. Maraga is not going anywhere.
You will get your time. Relax, just relax. You will get your time and you will explain why Maraga or why Matiang'i will win. So the thing is, the reason why Maraga is the front runner right now is that we have issues in our country. We have issues in our country that you only decide to elect an exact opposite of it. Because there's no way you are complaining about human rights violation or corruption and you elect an exact corrupt individual. There's no way you are going to do that. The reason we are tired, if you want to go to the streets all over, then elect Matiang'i. He will kill other people when they go to the street. He will shoot them. He has done that before. He was the CS.
He never.
The time of Baby Pendo, the time when Baby Pendo was shot, it was during his time. And I saw today, go to Larry Madon's timeline. You will see him. He did not take accountability. He did not take responsibility of that. He said no police officer use live bullet, and they did use. When he liuwa mtoto.
No, I don't think live bullets is the only one that kills. Obviously, we know we had Brian. No, not Brian. The boy that had alikuwa na mask.
How
Anaitwaje?
about the Kianchakoma brothers? Tuko na evidence kwa karatasi bana. How about Rivayala? How about those guys from I don't know, they were Indian or whatever. I don't know where.
I'm the Matiang'i people are
Here in Kenya. Even Itumbi himself. How about Itumbi? Itumbi himself. Itumbi during the run-up to election, Itumbi was kidnapped and tortured.
I was never. That was completely made up story.
Okay.
Let me have Femi.
Itumbi and the Ruto team, they were looking for sympathy. They were looking for Mount Kenya votes.
Wait, I finish up. You know, during the time when William Ruto was running for office, anytime he was questioned, he said that I was the deputy president. I was not the one in charge. He could not take any responsibility, and Kenyans buy to that. So right now we have someone who
is winning the next election? No.
Maraga by far. Let me tell you, or let me put it to integrity will win the next election and accountability will win the next election. Let me tell you one thing. Right now, when you try to question someone like Maraga, not Maraga, Matiang'i, they will say he was not the president or he was not there, but he was the CS. He has to take responsibility.
Police is independent. Police is independent.
You're independent. Wait. Otherwise, Protestant, please, can you don't even use that phrase? It's independent. Nobody's independent in Kenya. There's no commission that's independent.
It is not independent. It is not independent.
Please.
It is not independent. So the thing is, we have not, and we also saw even the demeanor of Matiang'i. The time he just tested power, he's not someone to trust at all. But we will give him his flowers. He did a good job during the time when he was in education. I will give him his flowers.
Education like now.
Alifanya vizuri. You know, just as a silent, alifanya vizuri kupelekwa pale ndio tujue the real color. The same way, William Ruto, there's one thing that I'm grateful for, that William Ruto won the last election, so that people can know his real color, so that, unajua ange lose hii election, saizi angekuja kusema tena, munipe. Saizi Kenyans know Ruto's real colors, the same way they know Matiang'i's real colors. Thank you.
Okay. No.
So do not expect the next election. Do not expect the next campaign to be as expensive as it is, because no one is going to be bribed. No one is going to be paid to come to the rallies, and we don't even want the merchandise whatever. Nani atavaa? Unadhani Liola atavaa t-shirt ya hiyo chama yetu ama hizo ma-t-shirt? No. We will brand it ourselves.
Leon is as confused as you. So let me have Femi. So thanks so much. By the way, Abdul, you are really becoming a very excellent analyst, and I appreciate that. By the way, you spend your time, you pay a lot of it into that. But the thing that I'm interested in is that this Matiang'i guy, tungemwacha kwa education, saizi anakuwa president. Vile alienda interior, this thing it broke down. Oh my God. Femi, I called you my little girl. What's happening? Who is winning? I need an answer. Come up. Femi bad.
Yes, Justice.
Yeah, before I bring in Wallace. Yeah. Go ahead.
But
this thing is getting hotter than I thought.
You are still not sure Maraga is winning this thing?
I don't think so. You guys can give me a pass. What should I kwambie why I'm struggling with your argument and your friend's argument is that I ask a pathway. Give me, when I ask a pathway, this is what I mean. Uniambie, yes, Maraga, yes, the running mate, and here is the votes, and they're coming from this and this and this and this. Unaelewa?
Nakuelewa.
You know, before you, when you were young, ngoja Femi.
No, go on, I'm listening.
When you were young, we did try to run options, different options, the campaign.
Mhm.
We have lost many times. Do you know how many times I've been heartbroken by losing elections?
And that is why I'm telling you this time, don't go the other way, go this way. I'm telling you. I can give you an example.
But
Today,
show me
yeah,
show me the
I'm showing you
show me
facts.
the numbers. Give me the
I'm
numbers.
showing you numbers right now on Twitter, the
Okay,
spaces we are
walk me through.
talking about.
Okay, yeah, we are.
Matiang'i is
Give me
nowhere
the numbers.
to be seen trading. Maraga is trading number
Maraga, we're
two.
doing Maraga. We're doing Maraga. Don't stop about Matiang is for other people. Maraga,
So
give me
that is
Maraga
what I'm
numbers.
telling you. Look at the trade at the moment in Kenya. The number one trading subject is what? Maraga. That is the first win he has, and he has not even mentioned his party, the person he's running with. He just said he's interested. Now imagine him giving us his memorandum of understanding, him giving us a political marriage. Add on top of that, him giving us a stipulation of how his government is going to work. Is it not? Is it not going to be a one lifetime achievement when it comes to politics, where you don't spend money, you just give logic and it sells. That is what Maraga campaign team is all about. It's all about logic. If you want to join his team, this is the time to join his team, where they are in the strategic point, where they are strategizing. This is where you should join if you're interested in joining, because his team, I understand, is coming with everything under one roof. They are giving you the cabinet, who will be in the cabinet. They are giving you what the government intends to do. They are giving you a running mate, and they are giving you they're giving you how it will be run within 5 years. So they're not this time the campaign is not what we are used to campaign. They are changing the dynamics of the campaign.
How does he get the money?
You can either choose to give him the money if you are seeking money, but if you are out here seeking a different position is in his cabinet, I think you should hit the ground and be with the strategic team. The strategic team, they are on the ground. They are the people who are doing the budget.
Who does he take as a running mate?
It is not yet known, or it's not yet determined. Yes.
Okay.
But what
Okay.
me
No.
what I know for now,
I'm working with you on this.
yes.
Give me 3 people that he can work with in the current dispensation and outside. So give me 3 people who are elected right now, but also give me 3 people who are not elected. Give me 3 people each side.
The way I'm seeing this, Maraga might choose a political elite before who will bring the
Give me the
bigger
name. Give me a
number.
name. Give a name. Don't be
They
apathetic.
are still there. I don't think they have even themselves. They have a name. They are still campaigning, and that
No,
is
they
why
do
we
have
see.
a name. You are lying. You are lying. Even in your mind, you have a name. Give me that
Just
name.
let me finish. We are too early to predict who will be his running mate.
So
Do you know why?
we are getting
Let
to
me
2
tell you
years,
why.
24 months.
Let me tell you why. At the moment, the political elites are campaigning to come with numbers. So what I know is the numbers that the other team is bringing will determine who will be the
Femi, we are
deputy.
getting to 24 months to the end. Give me a name. Give me a name.
There is no name. There is no
Okay.
name to run with it. There is no name to run
Justice,
with it.
why are you pushing Femi Badigo?
Because
Let her breathe a little bit.
I know her.
At
Femi, but
the moment,
if you can't
it's just
respond, ask me.
speculation. At
Hey,
the
what is
moment, it's just
Karibu?
speculation,
What is
because we are
Karibu?
looking at the political elites, where we have Akina Kalonzo Musyoka, Akina Martha Karua, Akina Wamunyororo. They are out hitting the ground trying to get the numbers for them to be able to come to the table and say, this is our numbers, this is what we are bringing, and this is what we want. So it is not yet determined who is coming there. For now, we know Maraga is there, the person who is
It's a
heading
lone
this.
ranger. Lone ranger.
He's not. Trust me, he's not.
Who is he with? Keoti Sonko?
No.
Justice. We don't hold brief for Maraga. Bring Maraga kwa hii space. You have his number. Let me try to bring him here. Yes,
no,
it will make more sense.
When alianzisha space, aliweka Maraga as a name. I'm not the one who made
No,
Maraga.
Justice, I didn't add
Justice, it's
Maraga's
you who
name.
edited. Yes, Justice, you're the one who edited. There was no Maraga there. For people who George is my witness, Mutai is my witness. I know you, Justice is you added this Maraga thing. I know.
I think he's campaigning for Maraga. Are you campaigning for him? Just say, man, so that we know.
I'm not campaigning. Okay, George, you know I'm not campaigning for Maraga. You know that, right?
Yes. I was just kidding. Yeah.
But on a serious note, I want to the Gen Zs are not honest. Gen Zs are very dishonest people, and the Fembad is one of them. I can tell you that Fembad is one of them. So when I'm pushing
This
her,
justice you are used to where everything is on your
no, Fembad is a dishonest person. Fembad is
You
a
are used
dishonest
to where
person.
everything is on your face, but you forget that when something needs to be done, they front that thing and they are doing it. And you guys keep saying that we don't have a reader. They have a reader. The thing is, the reader that if they generate their reader at the moment,
There's a Japonji, niliambia Japonji the other day, akwe president, and then Leola akwe vice president, and then I'll be like, oh, here's the president for the Gen Z thing, and I support them, and then these are people will fall flat.
Justice.
Right,
But
go ahead,
okay.
Justice.
Just give me a minute. Then I'll give the mic to the next person. Justice.
go ahead, and then you
once you even say and you even suggest that you want leadership for Gen Z, it only shows that you've gotten it wrong, because Gen Z are leaderless. Even Maraga is not leader for Gen Z, and he didn't even say he's leader for Gen Z. I don't know why you are holding brief for him. He didn't say he's leader for Gen Z. We don't have leaders in Gen Z. Gen Z is just Gen Z.
No, what happened?
And as we bring the next speaker, Justice, as we bring the next speaker, what I can say is that Maraga should collaborate with emerging Gen Z leaders and reformist figures like Okia Omtata, who share his values to unify the youth vote.
They don't.
One second. A potential Maraga Omtata coalition would appeal to the 30 million plus under 35 population, if he can avoid alliances with traditional politicians like Raila and Kalonzo Musyoka, then he will maintain his outsider appeal. That is what I can say. So based on that is my standing now, for now. So you can pass the mic, Justice, back to you.
Wallace,
please. Wallace, what is what you are trying to talk about?
Mutai akuje. Lakini, the only thing I'm requesting between the host and the co-host, Japonj, don't talk about Baba, because I'm what I am because of Baba. By the way, anything you hear me talk, don't talk about Baba. Can you really communicate without being against
Justice? Let me withdraw that and say Babaism. Babaism as a character. We don't like Babaism. Thank you. Okay, next one. Let's take the mic.
Thank you, Zalendo. Now,
Zalendo, how are you doing, bro?
I think I have some. Okay. After some time, I'm a Gen X, so I've been around for a while, and I over time you learn people in the sense that from the way they are speaking, you've spoken to them when they are 100%, and you know when you're speaking to them and they are not 100%, which means they've had a few bottles. And I've learned Justice, the more sober he is, the more he can listen. The more juiced up he is, the less he listens. So Justice, ninakujua sasa, nakupenda, you're my brother, you're my fellow Mzalendo, but when you've taken a few, you really complicate your space because you can't listen, you won't listen, you shift the topics left, right, and center, and that doesn't help too much. So my advice to you as your brother is when you open a topic, let it stick to one path. I think If the original topic was about fundraising for politicians, don't tweak it. I know when you're a co-host, you have the power to tweak the heading. And again, there's no sacred cow in politics. At the same time, let's not try and rush Gen Zs into a specific leader. I like maybe even the comment, I'm not a fan of Maraga per se. I don't dislike him. He's not even a bad person. For me, I know what leadership qualities are. And so as far as the servant leadership spectrum goes, he's good. He's top 3, top 5, let's say, okay? Kibudha is still at the top. You'd have to show me somebody better than Kibudha, and we'll know his time when it comes. But the idea is there's no need of rushing the Gen Zs to have a specific individual. When they said they were leaderless, my perception of it was they are kingpinless. Kingpinless meaning there's no one person that says right and all the Gen Zs jump to the right, left and all the Gen Zs jump to the left. And like the gentleman you don't want to mention, he was like a demigod, like a small god. He could say, tomorrow I want 1 million naked people in Kibera, and he'll get 3 million. Because there's no questioning once he says. Until now, until people have woken up. And by the way, as a forewarning from my brethren from Nyanza, if you go from Aguambo and you jump into Babu, it will be jumping from the frying pan into the fire. So let me warn you early, get away from psychophancy 100% after Baba. There should be no person who thinks for a whole community, who speaks for a whole community, who is unquestionable, and who is defendable with violence without reason or rationale. I like the comment I've had somebody say, in 2027, we want Kenya to win. We want patriotism to win. People thinking about the country. And so I think our time would be best served now, not by thinking who shall we vote for on the presidential ticket in 2027, but getting all the job descriptions in place, as I've been saying over and over again like a broken record. From MCA all the way up to president, we have all the job descriptions clarified by Kenyans. Only you know what bothers you in your ward, in your constituency, in your county, and therefore in the country. So that everybody gets their job description very clear. And it has the person when they come to say, I'm campaigning. So like now Maraga should come after he realizes Kenyans, we don't want to be pushed to work abroad. We want to understand why are there all these reserves that Wazungus are claiming to be for animals, but we know they are mining. How will he protect our minerals? How shall he reverse fake concessions given to foreign companies to mine our minerals? Those are the things we put at the forefront for a president. We said, don't come campaign here and try and give us Vitenda Willy and make us laugh. We don't care. We are not. We want comedians will watch Churchill or our favorite whatever programs we can get on YouTube and Netflix. We choose not to say who will be. It doesn't matter who will be there. I don't care if it's a monkey. If it knows what the job description for our president is, and it has shown a vision of how it's going to accomplish what we want. Shift your perspective as Kenyans. Stop thinking personalities. That is the foolishness that got us where we are now. Oh, Kenyatta. Oh, Mudavadi. Oh, that's what gets people into a mess. Think what needs to be executed nationally. Be sure we all share the national needs because it's our country. It can't be that there's a Tulo oil mining mafuta, but our petrol is so expensive and we drill oil in Kenya. How? How is that possible? Not acceptable. We can't be poor and we have gold. We have precious stones. Ridiculous. We can't have a mining CS who is learning one new mineral per week in the name of Joho. And his past record includes people being confident he's a drug dealer. That's not how it's going to work. So, new president, can you agree in advance you will spearhead the enforcement of Chapter 6 of our Constitution, that you will revoke all the things that were passed, that were not passed with public participation. You see, we know what we can tell these people in advance, but we are not defining that. We are busy saying, who shall it be? Who shall it be? Not what shall they do? What shall they deliver? That shows you when our focus is misplaced. When our focus is misplaced, we are looking at the least more important part of the job, which is who is it? And the most important part of the job is, do they understand this is the job description for this country? President, it's not your job to micromanage Paka MCA level. You cannot unleash what's called state capture, where you want to control the parliament, you are trying to control the judiciary, and you're in the executive. Stay away. So we put that as part of the, do you agree before, as you run for president, how will you keep your hands off the judiciary? Can we agree that when you tamper with it, we can impeach you? Do you understand the rights of Kenyans to demonstrate? What are the rights of Kenyans to demonstrate? When people are able to answer those kind of questions, then you have changed your national psyche and you are about to elect better leaders for a better Kenya. But if your focus is...
Wallace, can I ask you a question as you proceed?
Go ahead.
Since you've said that personalities will not matter much, someone like Ruto came in and people knew his personality was not good. And the fear that Kenyans have now is that if we bring in someone who can decide to use the background red flags that we ignore, they can actually impose authoritative leadership here, and there's nothing much you can do as it's happening now. So that is one of the fears that people have, and they want to put personality as one of the reasons in the checklist to go for someone who has a very good personality and background. What do you think about that as you proceed? Thank you.
That's why I'm telling you, personality is the last thing. It's a question of what do you prioritize in the presidential, the person who will occupy the office. What shall that office be expected to deliver? By the time Ruto was running his campaign, he was the tribalist. He is an ICC. They played their way out of ICC by forcefully winning 2013. By then 2022, he didn't win 2022 with a majority vote. They bought Chebukati. They played with the COK, Supreme Court of Kenya, SCK, SCOK. And that's why they switched off their phones, if you remember. We had the same problem that had caused Maraga to cancel the election in 2017. Exact same reasons this time were thrown out the window like a bunch of nonsense. Okay? And you know what happened? It's because in 2017, when the election was thrown out, the results, the mistake Wambo made was he didn't run the second round, if you remember properly. Uhuru ran by himself. And he boycotted the election. What happens in a walkover game in football? If you don't show up to play, you lose that game. So I guarantee you, had these guys tried to say we'll have to have a rerun, Kenyans would have shown up twice as hard as before. They would have realized we really have to block this guy. But now they rubbished the thing from the beginning. No second shot. So
thank you, Wallace. Can I have Mutai, if you don't mind, or can you wind down in 2 minutes, please?
Can you let me land then? Yeah. So just give me 2 minutes, fine. But my point here is simply to say this, that the way Kenya wins in 2027 is we create the job description starting now. It'll be a big waste of our time if every time we meet, we talk about who's going to run and we are not preparing their job description. And we can, because we know our problems. For example, now that people are being arrested and being given crazy bails, it's another way to scare Kenyans from protesting. Okay? So we can agree on the things we want. What shall we want for our judiciary? So that if somebody is going to be a CS of our judicial system, the way we used to have a minister of justice, they know in advance Kenyans must be innocent until proven guilty. Right now, for a long time, when you are being oppressed, you are first guilty until proven innocent. So you are locked up, you are tied up, you are struggling to prove that you didn't do what the government is trying to pin on you. So those kind of things. So I think our conversation, by their contributions, we should do that for them. That's for sure. We can shift to that. We'll discuss that down the line. But for now, I think we are best served by agreeing what is the job description of everybody. CS for energy, CS for mining, CS for everything. We agree the job descriptions. When we are replacing people, they must fit it by meritocracy. So let me land at that for now. Thank you, Wazalendo.
Thank you so much, Wallace. Amutai, as you come in, Wallace is talking more of traits of a president and what we need in terms of making sure that we have the job description for them, as opposed to them bringing the job description to us. So, like, we are their bosses. But he's also not talking about the members of parliament who have the power to impeach the president and who are our direct voices. So, as you come in, what's your take on that? Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, Joponji. Thank you, Leo, for hosting this space, and Justice, hello. Joponji, Wallace has raised a really important issue on we ourselves as the people getting to learn or getting to know the job descriptions and maybe getting these descriptions to be recognized by the same politicians who come to us. But you see, at the same time, I believe that when it comes to politicians, it is more representation than actually coming down to do their work. We have agencies that have been in place, and those agencies are now responsible for the kind of work that we need. If it is road, we have Kurakera, and it is Kurakera and Kenha. If you need water, we have, I don't know, the agency for water. If you need farming, we have a lot of them for VT and all that. So when it comes to, say, this job description, I think we need to focus more on agencies than rather the politicians. Politicians, the business of politicians is to politic. Their business is never to really implement on anything. Maybe we could just say that when it comes to the presidency and his cabinet, that is where we expect a kind of implementation. Say if they had promised 10 million chapatis, then we would need them to maybe strengthen the agencies that are supposed to be giving us the 10 million chapatis. That is just an example. But Japonji, I just wanted to respond to Layol's first title of this space, whether we should contribute to Maraga's campaign. And I feel that I think we should. It is not a matter of yes, we should, or like a mandate, but rather as people who need change. And this is someone who we know that has served in the government and does not have the kind of money, or rather the financial muscle that other politicians do have. And when we talk about this money, I don't want us to think about this money as money to bribe people, but rather money to make sure that we have campaign ad materials. We are able to fund agents who will be going down to the polling station. We are able to fund the campaign trail. I think when we look at, say, when we say let us give him money, it feels as if it is money that he's supposed to use to bribe people, but that is not really the case. I've heard most of the speakers here, and I think there's something that Femi said when she said that perhaps also Maraga could look for a political elite to maybe be the deputy president. I don't really think that it is a great idea for him to look for a political elite. I think that he should look for a young, vibrant millennial or Gen Z to complement him. He's an old guy, and for us to feel that he really believes in the power of young people, then he should be able to embrace really young, energetic vice president. There's a lot that has been said. I have been listening. And I just want to say that I think we should maybe focus not on the people, focus on the people, but let us focus on who these people are. Whether you are pro Maraga, whether you are pro Matiang'i, I feel that these are two different people. So what makes them different? It is their character, it is their personalities, it is also their histories. And more so, let us focus on the history. So thank you very much, Joponji, and I hope that you're having a great time.
Thank you so much, Mutai. I'll give right of reply to Femi Bade and Wallace, but before Femi Bade and Wallace comes in, Osama is a new speaker. Osama, the mic is yours. Go on. Thanks. Osama, can you unmute and speak?
Yes, I'm speaking. So that Osama can go ahead and continue the conversation. Mutai, what I mean by a political elite does not necessarily mean a node politician. A political elite is someone who has the nini, or what we call the political influence. He or she may come from politics, but does not mean that he's an old politician. It can be a young, vibrant politician who is in the age group of the Gen Z. That's what I mean by political elite. But literally, we have very young political elites within the parliament, but they are not very vocal because they are not given a chance to be vocal. That's what I mean.
All right, thank you. So I think it's my time to continue. I just have two things to comment about that topic out there. That should we contribute for politicians' campaigns? So according to my view, I think it is very necessary, and it is a good thing to contribute for someone who is politically empowered, and someone who has the ability to represent you well. Because for a fact, I know a lot of people who have a good potential to lead, but they have not got the opportunity because in the real perspective of Kenyan politics, if you do not have enough money to campaign for yourself, then you risk to losing to a lower quality opponent. So when you talk about contributing money for politicians for the campaigns, I do agree 100 out of 100%. Right now we have our fellow youth, our fellow Gen Zs, our fellow millennials who are going to vie for different political positions. So most of these people already are not empowered financially. So how can we empower them? We can contribute for them. But again, this comes with a high cost. You have to be very, very transparent and accountable with how you use public funds. I think we have a good example, and you can all learn from that. We saw the way Morara Kebaso came about. He came about as a very promising young man who we all saw that we had a lot of hope in him. But now, due to that lack of transparency and accountability of the money, to put things point blank, most people labeled him as a con man, which I do believe is true. And that means that any of you wants to be funded and to be assisted in campaigns, you have to be very, very transparent. Now, coming to the issue of Maraga, Maraga needs to be serious first of all. When you say that you want to campaign for president and you have only 2 million, that money is not enough. In as much as we want to help you, but we have to be more realistic. You cannot come on the table with bare hands. At least you should have made an effort, so that even us, when we want to support him, we can ask him, what do you have, my brother? So that you can tell us that his cup is half full, so that we can at least help him to make that cup full. So me, what I'm saying is that if you want to be assisted,
Osama, can I ask you a question? How much will be the minimum? How much minimum amount of money should someone have so you can top up with your theory of half full? Thank you.
All right. Yes, thank you for that question. And I'm going to answer it specifically because the general election of 2027, I want to tell you for a fact, it will be one of the most competitive and the most extravagant campaigns that we have ever seen in the history of this country. Money is going to be spent. And if you are not ready to spend money, I can tell you right now, start forgetting about that post. You know me, so I don't, me, so I'm just telling you the reality. Maraga is a very good leader, who is a very good promising man, who can be one of the best leaders we have seen in this country. But if he's not empowered that financially, we saw that the other day when Matiang'i came from the US, somewhere one of the papers, I don't know, it was People Daily, exposed that his budget was 50 billion Kenyan shillings. And you see that is still not enough. We have here Ruto, who has been stealing ever since he got into power from 2022. Right now, he's ready to spend tons and tons of money to buy people from each and every part of this country. So when Maraga comes with a 2 million, is hard-earned 2 million from the retirement funds, I want to tell you for a fact that even if we are really, some of you people are really, you really want him to be the president, it will be very difficult. So he also has to look for other
One second,
avenues so that we can.
Osama, do you believe in us funding funding their campaigns or no? Because I think you're contradicting yourself. You're saying that 2 million is too less. He needs a lot of money, and I don't even. Why do we need all that money for campaign? Why do we need that 50 billion? Please, if you may, you have 1 minute, and then Wallace take over, and then Femi. But 1 minute, please.
You know, your problem is that you don't take time to understand whatever I'm speaking. I am saying that contributing for somebody to vie for a position is one of the best things you can do to that person. But again, the person ye mwenyewe anafaa jaribu, that person should try at least to be somewhere, so that when we are assisting, we are not starting from scratch. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That is the point I'm trying to drive. So for me, I'm supporting.
When I asked you what somewhere means, the basic, you couldn't respond. That's why I want Wallace to come on, then we'll come back to you. Wallace, please take the mic.
Okay, thank you. I was going to respond briefly to Mutai was on point. My thought and my comment was not that the job descriptions are for what these people are going to do by themselves, but what they are going to advocate for. Because the job of an MCA MP is, once they have a clear description of the things that are the problem in their constituency, they have to know how to pitch them into either the county assembly or the National Assembly or the Council of Governors or the Senate, on that basis, to make sure, like now, those Kenha, Kura, all those institutions effectively bring the change that it needs to be done to your need, whether it's ward or constituency. Because remember, there are some roads that are not done even by those national bodies. They come under the county's internal roads development system. So the question is, do Kenyans even understand which job should go to whom and whom should execute it, so that you can know who should campaign for it, where they should push for it, and you give the instructions accordingly. So somebody who understands the system, they know politicians' job, it's not the government's job to create to create jobs in the country. It's to create an environment where businesses are thriving, organizations are thriving, so employment is available. Okay, they should create an environment where cartels are not killing local industries. People are not killing local industries so that they can import. So I want you to understand, I'm not telling them to do the thing themselves, but them to know what needs to be advocated for and to show us their game plan. This is how I will advocate for this thing that you do need. Okay? Then at the same time, from Osama's perspective, you cannot say somebody comes with something. That's what we tell people at wedding committees. Unakujanga kwa komiti yako, kwanza tunakuuliza uko na ngapi ndio tukuchangie. The system of fundraising for a politician, again, now taking the model from American systems, they have some money, whatever money they have. But the goal here is to say, we, the people who want to vote for you, are even ready to be part of your campaigning team. Remember, let's use Obama as our best example, Organizing for America. You'll see this in the United States. When you support a candidate, when you support Maraga or Omtata or whoever it is, not only are you willing to put your money where your mouth is and donate to the campaign. And why are you donating to the campaign? So that they can run campaign offices all over the country. So that when they need to move around and do some campaign speeches, they're able to pay for the stadium they used. Wachana la mtu kama Trump, Trump has left a lot of Denny's. So staff operations, fundraising activities, research and strategy, that's where the money is going to, not to bribe people. If you look at Osama is talking from the old mentality where a lot of money was needed because it's about pouring money to buy goons sometimes, riggers sometimes, buy the vote from the people. And Kenyans have learned when I sell my vote, and I've said this many times on spaces, somebody like Kidero used 1.5 billion to become governor of Nairobi the first time. But his salary in a month is $1 million. Times 5 years, 60 million. Are you going to spend 1,500 million to earn 60 million? You're not mad. So the moment you allow it to be ule anamwaga pesa mingi ndio ataingia, you are going to end up with the same bad leaders. The only way to flip the script is what you are saying at the top. Let's be ready not just to contribute for politicians monetarily, but can we, if we truly believe, let's say I believe in Kibuna, the way I say, when he does make his campaign known, I would be ready to contribute to his campaign and be his campaigner here on the ground. By the time he comes to my region, he finds he even has a support base. He has an office. People who are knocking doors. Have you ever heard of that concept of knocking doors? You've seen somebody going around and talking to people. That's the shift we need to have, so that the person is known, the way they want to fight for your rights is known, the policies they want to implement, because now once they get into the presidency, they form a government, which is now in charge of those Kura, Kenha. So if he has that vision of these are the needs we have, he should be able to say, when I am president, I will instruct the Kenya Power, the energy ministry. This is how we'll get our steamer bills low, because right now they're overcharged. They have a lot of lies. They have cartels. You're paying, when you buy tokens, more than half your money is going to taxes and rubbish like that. So that's what I mean. How will you advocate? And if you are the president, we understand your power is over the entire government, which is in charge of over all the ministries and services in the country. So we know your job description. What shall you push from presidential level? What can you push as MCA? We'll not ask an MCA to do what only the MP can do. So let me land in a minute, but that's the point. It should not be, we've been paying this price as Kenyans. Campaign time is usually, and if you saw in the papers, in 2017, ODM and its team used 10 billion in campaign. Even kumwaga tu, go get me people, buy t-shirts, do this kind of stuff. But if we change it so that somebody gets into power without investing $1 billion of their money.
Well, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you think majority of Kenyans can vote for somebody who doesn't bribe them?
Who doesn't bribe? Yes, it's possible now, especially Gen Zs. In fact, they're not majority of Kenyans. If Gen Zs, look at the way Gen Zs are right now. They know the cost of their parents having been bribed and landing them in Rutos and Uhurus. They know that. They can reflect on that. And they know now we can convince them, we can show them. Right now, especially considering we want so many of them to run and they don't have money already. The system we'll use for them to run, which will be, we are supporting our Gen Zs, but even they have to prove they have the way to pitch for what the people need in their constituencies, whatever position they'll be running for. They will be ready to flow with that. And you're looking at 14 million Gen Zs, 15 million strong. Ruto and whoever claimed they got 7 each, of which it's a Guambo I can believe, but Ruto's I know was just a game. But ideally what happens is even those guys who voted then, most of them now have left their camp. Their big worry right now is they don't have the voters to help them rig an election in 2027. Let me land at that because I have much to say, but I want to give others an opportunity also to weigh in. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wallace. Next speaker will be Meshach, and then we have Mr. Pubung. Mr. Pubung, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. I've been here for a while. I think I've heard what Osama said. Wallace also has spoken wisdom and some pure fact. Actually, concerning the topic that I can see written there, if we should contribute money for politicians to campaign. Okay, to be honest, it depends on a lot of factors. But if we put it in Kenyan context, being that we know our politicians, we know the characters that they have. Number one, I'll say with the civilian funding campaign for the person you want, actually it's a good move, being that, number one, he will be our servant. They say, whoever that feeds you controls you. That is what will be happening. But considering environment ya Kenya, our environment, our politicians idea, we are not at that point where we can compare ourselves with the US, the way they do their things and the way we do it back here at home. For the records, I can say on election days, in as much money is a factor when it comes to elections, but we have seen people who have campaigned from zero and emerging victorious. We have seen people like Lina Toto in 2013. There was this guy who campaigned who was from, I think, Rift Valley, who campaigned from nothing and they won. The likes of Akina Peter Salasia. We can't say that they had money, but I believe it is their manifestos. I believe it is what they told the people and the people believed in them. To be honest, as we speak, the system is rotten. Everything is upside down and we really need a good leadership. I want to comment on the issue of Maraga. I've heard people like Osama talking that, Maraga to come and show us that kuna nini ameweka nini kwa meza. Yes, the way Wales may respond that this is not a wedding committee where you are being asked like, what are you putting on the table before we contribute? To be honest, Maraga is a good leader. Maraga can make a good presidency. But looking at the political arithmetics of this country, his chances of becoming the president are 0.00%. That's what I can say with confidence. In as much, we might say that maybe Maraga is lacking that financial support or the money for campaign in quotes to vie for the 2027 elections. Tunajidanganya. Maraga has been Maraga akona that corporate image. Maraga akona that diplomatic image that if he really wants to vie for presidency in 2027, we will go for it. The money won't be an issue. Campaign fund won't be an issue. If at all Kenyans will decide to contribute, that one will be just a plus. That's why I usually tell people that yes, everything is in a mess. Right now, we want to take this guy out come 2027, but again, we still don't have a strategy, and we don't know who is going to replace him. We don't have a perfect replacement for this guy. I can speak a lot about Maraga. Number one, me personally, if Maraga decides to be in the ballot come 2027, I will vote for him irrespective of whether he will pass or not, knowing very well that he will not pass. I think like at the moment, the best thing we should do is just having a civic education, educating our voters on how to protect our votes. Because if these people do count our votes, then most probably we will end up with a good president or someone who can govern the country in the right direction. But if we cannot focus on the IBC, votes, civic education, on these things of handout, that's actually our main problem in kujanga hapo kwa handouts, especially the youths. People are jobless. Now, the same people that are jobless are the same people we want to bring the narrative of funding politicians. That one is like, to me, it will be unfair, considering it has been tried and it has been tested. We have seen politicians being millionaires, buying cars, flaunting on social medias from the money that were contributed with from common civilians and common wananchis. So to me, I don't support the issue of for civilians campaigning, civilians fundraising for politicians to campaign. I totally disagree with that. If at all anyone wants to fight for an election, watch out manifesto yake muuze. Let us vote for him based on his ideology, based on his manifesto, based on whatever he's bringing on the table, not based on pesa nyatatoa, because most of those money, it can happen only if there is transparency and honesty. But with our politicians, with this country, I don't think if that can happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Pubung, the speaker is yours.
Japonji, Mr. Pubung has been speaking. I think we had to go to Meshach.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, take control, because you know what I see from my side that may be different from yours. Because I see Wanda on and off. So I'll just give the speakers out. I'll be back like in 20 minutes. Thanks.
Meshach and then Martin.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing good. First of all, I want to appreciate for this space. And second, the question of the day, should we contribute for politicians or not? In this case, we are asking ourselves, should we contribute for Maraga to be the president? So for me, I think it's okay. Hata pay bill ikitoka leo mi by then nitaanza kuchanga. Reasons being, for so long, leaders in this country wamekuwa wakifundiwa. And once msee amekufund, anataka ishapata ile kitu unataka, you will have to pay back. That's why unaona tuko in so many debts, because utaangalia, if you funded me, tuseme 10 million ama 20 million, say 1 billion, after I descend to power, you'll expect me to fucking pay you back. Ama ni uongo? You can all agree. You'll expect to be paid back. And that's why unaangalia hata route of fighting for Adani, it means there was an interest there. Either our say walikuwa wamempatia do fulani, and then wali expect the moment ataingia kwa power, he'll be the one to pay back. So I think for us to get someone who is clean, we don't need someone who will be funded. Apewe pesa na watu, and then akiingia kwa kiti abaki na madeni to come and pay back. We can contribute so that we can have a clean person, hana madeni. No one, hakuna mtu anamdai, that is. And then for Maraga, hata tukikosa kumcontributia, one thing I know for sure is that there are so many people who might be willing to like kumchangia. And then wakimchangia, the expectation ni hiyo tu yenye nimesema. So for me, I think Maraga is a very good candidate, and if it is an issue of contributing or not contributing, me, I'm so ready to contribute. Even if it is start now, I'll contribute. So I don't have much to talk about. So much has been said, and thank you for this space. Asanteni. Have a beautiful evening.
Thank you, Meshach. Let's have Wanda and then Femi Wallace. Then we can go to Martin. Wanda, good evening. Do you think we should be contributing for the campaigns of politicians? Mr. Wanda. It seems like you call Femi, but you can go.
For me, I had a question for Sama when he said, and I think he left. I can give the speaker to the next person who is in the panel.
Okay, Wallace and then Martin.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I don't mind even letting Martin go first. I know I've spoken a number of times. We can give these guys who haven't spoken a chance. I think Martin, then Kenyanik or something. I don't mind waiting a bit. I can yield to Martin, then I will go.
Thank you so much, Wallace. Am I audible?
Very well.
Thank you so much. So thank you for the space. I I'll just dive straight into the question. Should we contribute for politicians' campaigns? Yes, I believe we should. And when I say contributing, to me, that does not only mean financially. You can also give your time. You can also give resources in form of advertising, in form of giving transport, if you have some means, in form of volunteering as agents. So I believe we are in we are the ones to make the change. So there's no way we expect politicians, people like Maraga to run against corrupt and moneyed politicians like Kasongo without sisi wenyewe contribute. Venye tu most of the speakers wamesema, corruption inaanzia tu from the election period juu. When someone is financed from elsewhere, foreign people wana finance, at the end of the day, if that person wins the election, watakuwa na a say into what this person mwenye amekuwa elected, what he can do or cannot do. Unaona? So contributing not only financially, I believe tuna agree that contributing is not only financial. Kuna very many ways tunaweza contribute to ensure that that your candidate ama the person you want to you really want apate that kiti akue successful. So for me, the fear of Ruto kuingia the second term inaweza fanya hata niamue monthly nikuwe nikisave. I save not for my personal use, but ile tu kuchanga ikifika that time 2027 I can send that money to whatever pay bill itakuwa. I know that it's time for change. It's time to kuwe a mature democracy. Yes, tumepeana examples za maybe US, Obama 1 to 8 akiran against McCain. Najua our democracy is not haija grow to that extent, lakini kwani when is the time? Should we be 200 years old ndio tuweze experience good democracy yenye watu wenye wako in those developed nations wana experience? I believe sisi kama Gen Z millennials, wachana hata na the older people, yes, hawa wanaweza kuwa bribe, wanaweza pewa do, but the fact that we have the numbers, we are the majority, na sisi ni watu tumesoma na tunaelewa na tumepitia the joblessness, the mashida zote tumepitia this time. I believe inaweza fanya to make the change. It doesn't have to take the many years that other countries have taken for them to enjoy mature democracy. So I believe it's time, na this is the time tunafaa kujitokeza to invest in this in election yenye na come in the form of contributing not only your time, not only your money, but your time into kujaribu kuchange things as they are. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin.
If I may.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just adding to what Martin has said, that you see, if this guy goes to look for funding elsewhere, it will be like, for this big farms, obviously there will be like something we call the MOU. They will sign an MOU. Once the MOU is signed, so this guy will be in debt. So even if he becomes the president, like, we will look for a way to repay those guys their money. And to repaying those guys their money, which means like maybe some of them will be wanting positions into the government. Some of them will, if you became president, like, you will be giving me tenders for this, and this. So as funding him, which means he will have no debt for any person. Like, the only debt we'll be having is our debt. And our debt is we want service, we want accountability for this government. That's one thing. And then the other thing is, there was a question about like how, if we will, about that we were saying, like, how will it go to the setters? Now this thing is, the funding we make, like, we need to market him. The marketing, I mean, like, need to make him popular in the villages. The more like there's a person who said that he's not popular. Yes, of course he's not popular, but that's our job. That's why now this farming comes in. When the farming comes in, we need to have teams. It's in each and every constituency into the ward level. When the moment you have teams into the ward level, even this, if for instance is in Busia, the next day we'll be going to Malindi. So we want to, when he goes to Malindi, we will follow people there. People already know him, know his agenda. So that's the number one purpose of the man. And then I think we need to have a team like everybody say and we say like we need to have a political elite, a person who knows the political language, a person who can speak to the people, know what people want to hear, not people what people should hear. No, this is let's not lie to each other. Like if you tell people what they're supposed to hear, like you're not going to get the votes. Like you need to tell him what you want them to know. What you want them to know is the political language. Like our guy is not into that. Like he's a learner. He's a learner. So he goes there. He goes there in the villages. Even if you listen to the way he speaks, like he speaks about the constitution. Most of the time he's focused on the constitution. Like those Mawambogas, those Boda guys, those people in the village, the millionaires in the village, like they don't want to hear about the constitution. Like you tell them how my child will go to school, and if the education goes to be free from the like the lower to the higher, how am I going to get food? Like I'm a farmer, I'm a Philippine farmer, I'm a maize farmer. Like will I sell my product? I'm a coffee farmer. How am I going to get paid? Like now we have the problem with the sugar. Like the sugar industry will be closed around during a few weeks because there's no sugar. Yet some farmers say that they have sugar in their farm. The cane of matured. Like so they don't understand why the government is trying to close the factory. Yet they have already matured cane. Now what this guy needs to do, like go to those farmers, tell him we do this and this and this
Edu,
to make sure that yes,
Edu,
yes,
a few
yeah,
months ago, I can't remember
yeah.
if it's a year or a few months ago, Ruto went to Western Kenya and opened Mumia's factory. Is it not working?
Yeah, it's like the management, the board management, like it's the same. There's nothing. He goes there. He put dead key. I think the don't is dead key, but is that Kamwin, the guy which was kidnapped somewhere last year. I don't know last year or like what the government is saying. Like there is no cane, and when there is no cane, those factories need to close up because they will be doing nothing. That's what they're saying. Yes, some farmers come up last week and say that we have matured cane, like we just need to cut them and take them to be processed. Now, if you close this farm and we have cane in our farm, like what are we going to do with the cane? And then I think what they're trying to do is that they close this and then they import. And if they import now, their sugar will be in the market. That's what they're trying to do. And that's the problem of signing an MOU. Maybe one of the people who funded this campaign is telling like for me to find you, like I will be importing or importing. Maybe the person is outside, so I will be exporting sugarcane to your country. Or maybe if the person is here, like I will need tender to import sugarcane, to import sugar from outside. So that's why this why you hear about the tend to close up. Yet the people are saying that you have the cane. Why are you calling not closing up? Yet you have the cane. And now that's what now this guy he needs to go. You need to learn this language. If he goes there like a judge, a judge like hiyo kizungumindi mingi, like those farmers won't understand this kizungumindi mingi. Mwambonga won't understand the kizungumindi mingi. The border guy, like
Edu,
most of the Mwananchi, yeah.
Ruto said that people in Western Kenya, they received a bonus for the
Like
sugarcane.
like it's only maybe if they receive, yes, I know, but if they receive, it's the chosen one. You're the chosen one. Even if today you'll be going to, let's say, the Congoya market, like will be going to the people, you'll be following the protocol. So those people you pay, like so the people will know, some people have been paid. Oh, it was doing that so that to intimidate Gachagua, saying that that man, he was like trying to fight Gachagua because Gachagua was trying to like and Wamuchomba. So those guys like there's this thing that those guys like their main source of income is coffee. And then he was now trying to shift the focus now. Even the sugarcane farmer should be paid this amount so that they can be equal to the coffee farmers. That is what he was trying to do. There's not, that's all politics. That is politics. That's bullshit. That is politics. No, because most of the people say that they wasn't paid. Like most of the farmers didn't receive even a single cent into their account. It was just shows. We was just trying to show people like we need to do this and this. Even if Gashaga and Mchomba are talking there, he was trying to fight Gashaga and Mchomba because those guys like they highly like advertise their coffee. Like those guys are so in coffee. So like so if the Mount Kenyan to profit, let's make more, even the people from Western that get this money. It isn't like only the people in Mount Kenya are being paid more money because of coffee. Yet the sugar farmers are here not being paid. I paid less only because they produce sugar. Like that was a game against the people of Mount Kenya of Gashaga. That's like that. I wasn't convinced about that thing because
Edu, you have a
most of the
minute.
farmers. Yeah. Okay. If most of the farmers say that they weren't paid, yes, only people who are paid are the people who were interviewed. You see, and then the people who are interviewed, they are the people who are never get to be paid. Now, also, like what I was saying, we need a team which can coordinate with the guy, like taught him the political language because our guy doesn't know this language. He needs to go there, tell Mamboga what Mamboga wants to hear. Tell that father, like your son will finish school without you paying even a single cent. That's what needs to be done. And then we need to advertise him, like I've said. We need to put his posters in every single in the ward in Kenya so that people will you wake up, you go to the market, you see his photo. You wake up, you like we need to advertise him. That's the main agenda. That's how we make him popular, and that's how he will become popular. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Edu. Let's have teacher Wanda. Wanda, how are you?
I'm really fine. Now, when I go to this topic, if there is a need for us to contribute either to these politicians or specifically Maraga, then I will say yes, Maraga is redefining our politics and making them look meaningful as they should. Look into, at some point, Nyerere was Nyerere was wondering why presidential candidates struggles and pumping a lot of money, get into dealings, and like he was struggling to understand, does it mean that once you go into that status, you have some business that you're going to do that will earn you more profit, in a sense that you are investing your money into some project? Then once you get into that status, you now want to start harvesting. And therefore, any other candidate that struggles to pump money into his campaign, not for the sake of the transport and those other that are so clear, like the public addresses and such things. But if a person uses money to buy individuals, either to buy an ID card, to make someone vote for him, in the sense of you're using money not to sell a manifesto or your idea, but instead you're using money to buy an individual's consent so that they vote for you, not into their own, not that they have looked into your manifesto and believes in what you stand for. Then that individual is a clear indication. The person, that is a red flag. Like if you're spending your own billions, if you're putting your money in terms of millions and billions into a campaign, then what are you going to do so that you win back or you get back your money with some profit net? Therefore, Nyerere was struggling as he was advising the Tanzanians that the moment you see a candidate pumping a lot of money in their campaigns, winning, literally buying people in the name of buying votes or buying victory, then this person is investing, only that they're not telling you that once they win the elections, they're going to steal from you and they're going to make your lives unbearable. And if they probably got some money into some MOUs, then it means whoever gave them money with an MOU needs some money back with some interest. I'll also look into now someone like Obama in 2008. Barack Obama's campaign was fully funded by individuals, the citizens. He actually used quite a lot of the social media, the email engagements, and quite a lot, generally the social media, to campaign or to seek or to fund his campaign kitty. He never used his own money to campaign. And what Maraga is suggesting, it's nothing from the blues or from the moon. It's actually copying or aping from people that have done that before, and it has proved to be the best way of doing our politics. And it's not just Obama. You look at Macron. When Macron was campaigning in France in 2017, he still used the same. In fact, with Macron, he was using crowdfunding. The crowdfunding, which, like, if an individual wants to serve people, you have looked at the lives of your citizens or fellow citizens, feel convinced that the country is not being led in the right direction, and I want to offer myself to change the history of our country's trajectory and bring back the normalcy and make things start working, then there is no need of this individual using their own hard-earned money into these campaigns, buying you to change your lives. Therefore, I stand in to agree, or I stand in to support, and I wish that he only comes up with a campaign team that will look into this fund so that there is a transparency, that whatever was, this is what has been contributed so far, and this is how we are spending this money. Once there is transparency, then we are good to fund this guy so that we change the country. And if I'm told from the previous speaker that I had that one of the candidates, either Matiang'i or whatever, though these are rumors and I will not wish to dwell on the rumors, but if I'm told the rumors are true, that he has like 50 plus billions that he want to use in his campaign, if those billion goes into buying individuals' consent so that they vote for him or vote for whoever he feels like I want this candidate, then it automatically means that he's not the right person to go into that status or to change the history of our country and bring back the sanity. Therefore, I feel like, yes, we should fund politicians. And if I'm told they actually mean well, only that don't fund blindly. Like what was happening with Morara, that was blind funding. You don't fund a person just because they are telling you what you want to hear. That is desperation. Therefore, let us fund a campaign. Let us fund an individual who needs that funding by being convinced that this is the campaign team, this is how these funds are going to be spent, and this is what so far we have collected. Let us have that structure that confirms we will have transparency, and let us get convinced with the ideologies of these individuals. By looking into the histories of these individuals, if you feel convinced that this person stands a chance to change the history of our country to the positive and has a clear plan and structure, why not fund those people? Lel.
I think the Gen Z have decided to fund Maraga. I don't know about the other candidates. Maybe some Gen Zs will fund also Ruto and Matiang'i, even Wamnyoro. Let's wait and see. Now we can have Wallace. Wallace.
Okay, thank you, Mzalendo. Good comments so far, and I'm very much for the funding. I want to clarify something. Let us never tell ourselves we are not as caught up as the other countries in democracy. That is not how thinking works. We speak the same level of English that they speak, and they started speaking English before us. Not to forget that in the whole world, Kenya was the first country to use mobile money in the form of M-Pesa. So not only that, we can actually set a precedent, okay? And in this case, we're not even setting a precedent, it's something that's been done. What needs to happen is it needs to be done with very good understanding, even having a framework where we don't need to copy things without changing anything. What you do when you're wise is you adopt and then you adapt to your circumstance. You don't adopt like photocopy without changing anything. Actually, there's a good book written that's called Imitation is Limitation. That's just copying without making any progressive change to what you're copying. So let me give you an idea, because I always like solutions. What we could form, or what we should form, is, for example, Wazalendo's voters network, okay? Something to that effect. We could always know what name we could use. But the goal of it would be, we are going to support Kenya first. We say, as our goal is, we are voting for Kenya in 2027. We are not voting for a specific candidate. Of course, people will stand, will vote for people. But the concept of saying we are voting for Kenya first means we'll be voting for what we deem, whom we deem to be the best for the national progress of this country, for the county level, for our county, for our constituencies, and for our wards, because the ward is the smallest unit. So what you do is, in that network, we come together and say we are going to create a system for fundraising. We can either we use Mchanga, or we reactivate a blockchain-based system so that it's transparent and can be seen what everybody is collecting. And then we agree also as the network, we are going to be the ones doing the campaigning, the way we've seen it done before, where if you're organizing for Barack Obama, you're going around knocking doors. Have you considered this candidate? Do you know what his policies are? Okay. And on top of that, even before you go for those policies, you've already pitched them to the best candidates and had their vision and decided this guy, Omtata, has the best vision. Maraga has the best vision. Ibudha has the best vision. Then we narrow down on who we are pushing for. And we do campaign for that person. Likewise, we do not have to belong to one party. If we find the guy in your constituency with the best vision for your constituency is in party, banana party, we push for that guy for his banana party, okay? And also, as the Wazalendo's network, if we build our network big fast, we are not coalescing around an individual. We are coalescing around our country, around our anthem, and around our constitution, and around our chapter 6 of integrity. That's what we coalesce around. You fit into us, we don't fit into you. That's the framework we need to shift to, because they are our employees. When you're employing somebody, they fit into your company's vision and program. It's not you who fits into their qualifications and their wishes and their whims. So number one, we start fundraising saying we are ready. Once we have a transparent system, that's workable. But first thing is to say, can we move people to look at Kenya from that dimension? Then we know we can create mega spaces where we have the presidential candidates come, like the way we've seen Kibwana in spaces. People come onto space, and a space can carry millions of people to listen in. But first, as the network, can we define what do we need as a country? What does this president need to campaign for? What does he need to push through his government, his CSs? We can even ask him, who would you put as the CS of energy? We see how he's thinking, or she, because we are not gender biased. Why are you thinking of that individual? What do you want to implement in that sector that this is the best qualified person? Okay, so we do it that way. Let's start this revolution from we, the people, thinking of our country, Kenya, being patriotic to our country, Kenya, and saying we are ready to back up and give votes to whoever fits our job description. That shifts the ball game completely, because the old folk need, the old politicians need ukabila. They don't know how to campaign on issues. What can Ruto promise us now that he couldn't do while he was with Uhuru as deputy president, or in the ministry positions he had during Kibaki's term? That's how you are disqualified from running from, if you've not done it in 20, 30, 40 years from whatever position you had, what makes you think you'll do it now? What is he unable to do now that he needs more time to do? All we know he's been doing now is killing people, stealing, looting, selling everything that is not pinned down. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking. I like thinking solution. So when we say it's our Wazalendo voting network or whatever name we would come up with it, it is not loyal to any individual. It is loyal to the country. It can vote for anybody who meets the job description, the character qualities we expect, etc., etc. We set the ball game. We set the playing ground. Because right now the playing ground is about who has the most money to pour, to buy votes, to bribe votes, to rig elections, to buy the officials or the officials at the polling station. In fact, that's why we need to make sure we have enough independent candidates so that Wazalendo are in every polling station as remember you have, every party has people that are allowed to oversee the vote counting, but we make sure we, the people, have people there overseeing that. Not only that, as IBC is hiring people for all those polling stations, we are going to push all Wazalendo network, be involved, be employed, apply, because they don't have enough people to fill all the polling stations. We will make this election unriggable. They will not be able to rig the election. That's for sure. We can make sure that becomes the situation. And now that's why we say we are going to be involved. We will vote. We will be in the counting system. We will be everywhere. We will permeate. We will be in the independent parties. And if they joke, we will join a party of theirs and we vote them out. We can decide tunaingia KANU, tunaenda hiyo election ya uongozi, tunatoa kila mtu, tunabakia na KANU. With all its offices countrywide. In other words, we have many strategies how we can do this. There are many ways to skin the cat, they say. So let me challenge us with a solution, not endless talking points. Yes, we know we want change in 2027, and we start organizing now. Let's be the Wazalendo's voters network, whatever name you can come up with, it doesn't matter. A rose by any other name is still a rose. But the point is a voting block that nobody can say is in his pocket. Unajua ni Wakamba, unajua ni Wakisii, unajua ni Wasomali, unajua there's no such thing. There are people who are voting for Kenya. Now, how do you put people voting for Kenya in your pocket? What have you appealed to in them? They've told you, where is your integrity? Or you've been in government before. What do you want to do now that you didn't do in those years that you were there before? You disqualify yourself. And at the same time, this voting network should immediately start recalling MPs. Hata kama hiyo IBC wanatengeneza ni fake, let's pack it with the recall for everybody who voted for 2024 finance bill and this year's finance bill, because those are on record. Wacha wakae wakijuanga hata sijui na campaign nini, na watu already wamejitolea kuditoa. Okay, and ndio sasa tuambie, if you want to we can it's like the way the FBI they can give you less charges if you sell out to the big bosses. Tunaweza waambia, if you impeach the president, we will let you finish your term. We won't put you back, but we might let you earn that salary, whatever it is you are doing. But the idea is, let's shift the ball game. Let's not go away from there was that plan to visit these people. That one should and must happen. Wacha my MCA, my MP, wote wajue wanatembelewa na Wazalendo. Nobody is going there to do them any harm. But it is to remind them the ball game has shifted and it will never go back. And when we create a network of just people voting for Kenya, that's why now we start saying, Gen Zs, we want to vote for you. Can you start qualifying yourself? In fact, I've been in a Gen Z's group, Japan knows. If you just ask people, what is the exact role of an MCA? They are not sure. Right now, let's say you want a better road in your ward. What should the MCA say? What is the process supposed to be between your need for a better road as ward constituents and it being done? Who should do it? Is it Kura? Is it Kenha? Is it a roads ministry in the county? We need to do that. So civic education, civic duty education, even of the constituents. But that needs to be done by a formation, again, that doesn't need an office. It just needs agreement. It needs networking online. It needs commitment to act on the ground. And we make a difference of this country. Stop putting yourselves at the mercy of, will so and so run. The era of personality politics has died. If you are not waking up, let me wake you up now. We, the people, even better than America. Do you know our constitution is more progressive than America? And we copied some elements from it. Kenya can be the precedent of a new way of things being run. And
Wallace, let
Yes.
me ask you a question before you wind down. As we speak today, as we stand, one Kenya is represented by 17 people, from the president all the way to the chief. 17 people are earning salary from representing one Kenyan. Do you think that's fair?
And now that's what's ridiculous about what's happening. I want you to know that a good constitution, while it was at least it's good, it's distributed, it was on paper distributed power. It was overrepresented, and even when it was being passed, Kenyans said this thing is expensive. But because of the pain of 207, you people need to understand how painful 207 was as far as that post-election situation. We said we will fix it later. But what happened is the guys who came in were hacking away at it because they did not qualify to be the president and deputy president as of 2013. The chapter 6 should have disqualified them. But anyway, so the idea is this: we have overrepresentation. All these things of nominated MPs, nominated, I don't know, senators. It's an overload. It's an overload. That wage bill is too much. Kenya is not as big, I think it's the size of Texas, and Texas has one governor. Okay, so remember, we created that because of the pain of trying to make all these political elites happy. Wasitupiganishe saa yote. And so as we shift from that, I guarantee you, over maybe the next 2 election cycles, first of all, we want patriotism to come to the top. Then we'll reason with each other. We say, do we really need all this? Like now, what do women's rep do? And I'm not saying this in a bad way. Tell me the things they've done since they were instituted. Show me the things women's rep fought for this for women, and it was implemented. You struggle to find it even when pads are bad. They're not the one at the forefront fighting. Look at what Pasaris is doing now. Is that the job of a women's rep? Tell people not to protest. You want to pass a bill for anti-protest. So I agree with you. There's overrepresentation, and there's, you know, when you are in a post and you need to make many people happy, that's why you create all these fake representatives and stuff. That is ridiculous. But let's say we'll fix that mess after we get Kenyans to be mobilized and educated from the patriotic dimension and moving together in that space. Then it's easy to reason with them and tell them, surely, fellow Kenyans, do we need to be 47 counties when we remove the fear of when this person comes in, they will mistreat us? That was the whole goal of Majimbo and loads of counties. When we shift the thing to where we have demanded leaders who are thinking of Kenya first, they have their job descriptions, then it will allow us to start lightening on the fake jobs. In fact, we will.
One is sorry to interject last time. As you learned in 2 minutes, I know you are supporting Kivuta Kibwana, although he has not declared his candidature to run for presidency. So what's your take on that? Can you give us at least 3 or 4 reasons why you support someone like Kivuta Kibwana, who's also been a representative for long, and as also a politician? Why would I vote for him as opposed to Maraga? Send me his candidature.
In fact, I'll tell you why he's the best, and even Maraga can't come near him. I don't know, even with the rocket, he can't come near him. Kibuda has a proven track record. First term, he had MCAs who were absolutely corrupt. They went in to eat money. They were determined to eat money. They landed in the best position possible. He shut them down. He refused to be compromised because he's a man of faith, in the sense that his integrity, he has some values that he lives by, not by mdomo, not by crying in churches and then be murdering people. they tried to actually impeach him. You remember those incidents? There was even gunshots. That's how hard corruption fights back. But he beat it. He beat corruption. He shifted to public participation to circumvent the MCAs. He went to Mama's groups on the ground, those kind of, listen to his testimonial or follow it up. Makueni became the benchmark county in Kenya, even to date, of how a county should operate. Because now, when he couldn't run after the second term, it was Mutula's son who took over. I believe he's the one who's the governor at the moment. So by track record, he showed integrity that he's not willing to compromise with corruption in any shape or form. He whipped his country. And remember, a leadership position is a leadership position. You are signing stuff. You are responsible for things happening in your county. Opening things that took advantage of all the mango, instead of the mangoes going to waste. Opening juice factories, industrials in that county. He delivered, even with opposition. The second term now, even I don't even need to discuss because of how dreamy it was. Because all the people fired all the MCAs short one who did not oppose Kibudha. And the next term was like a breeze. Because now he was working with people ready to deliver work to Makueni. Go look at the Makueni website and compare it to your county's website, if you can. Okay, go check out, the website is online. Compare Makueni's website with other counties. So when it comes to comparison, there is no comparison at the moment. And even he's too humble to run for the position. If he refused to run completely, I could give Maraga, I have no problem. Okay, but between Maraga and Omtata, again, I have my reasons why I would give Omtata first. And before an Omtata Maraga ticket, if Kibudha completely refuses to run, because we are going to push him there. We'll get him there. But the point is, that's the reason. Then not only did he show himself to be a person of integrity, not open to being, to engaging in bribery. That's why recently when you saw him sitting somewhere, like crouch, Kenyans were asking him, kweli haukuiba kakitu ukitoka huko? He never stole anything. Recently, I think he posted his payslip on X. I don't know if you saw that. That he's paid, I think, 80K, and then by the time it's cutward, he gets like 60K. Okay? Somebody he's not super wealthy, but we understand what money he has and what he doesn't have. You can't explain Ruto's wealth. You can't explain most of these dealers' wealth. Maraga, let's say we give him credit for what? He participated in the team that cancelled the election. He wasn't alone. And during his head of the judiciary, he didn't clean it up of corruption. It remained just as corrupt. I mean, it's not the most corrupt, but buying cases is not a big thing in Kenya to date. Okay, the impact Kibudha had on Makueni versus the non-impact Maraga had on the judiciary is like heaven and hell. There's no comparison. Okay, he was not a corrupt person, Maraga, but he did what he should have been felt. Which judge was ever indicted for corruption while he was there? Okay, so he did not attack, but doing nothing sometimes is called being complicit by silence. If you don't pull it apart, unfortunately, remember there was a CJ, Mutunga, was it Mutunga? Yes, when he was being interviewed. Do you remember how he stunned Kenyans? When he was asked, why do you have an earring? We don't want our CJ to wear an earring. Do you know what he said, which was strange, but still showed he had some integrity? He said, if you cannot be led by a person with an earring, then I'm not the person for this job. That's why he was hired. He stood for something, even if it was not something people, I mean, they could figure out it's irrelevant. Whether he has it or not, who cares? Is he passing judicious?
Yeah, land in a minute.
Okay, thank you. So anyway, so that's my thought. So if it's Kibudha unmatched track record, I can't ask Omtata for a track record because he has never held the leader. A Senate position is to argue for how money flows. That's why he's suing the former president for money. But I'm sure he'd be a good leader. Maraga had a leadership role. He did not do anything evil, but he did not stop evil. We did not see him fighting against it. So I think that's how I would boil it down. Matiang'i, forget that. That is a lost case that's as bad as Ruto. Thank you. Let me land on that.
Thank you so much, Wallace, for that insight. Wanda, your hand is up, and then please raise up your hand so I know the next person to give the speaker. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I know probably a few might agree with what the speaker that just landed has said, but I actually agree with him on quite a number of what he just alluded or presented. Because to me, we only have two candidates that can really change this country. That is Kibwana, that is and Maraga. I wish that those two people end up in the same team. Because if you look into what Kibwana did and looking into the Ukambani politics, this guy was struggling with a region, or I mean, was struggling to take care of a county or to take care of politics in a region where we have a certain individual that is supposed to control the decision making and everything. If you look into the Kambani politics, try analyze the politics so well, it's not so different from the politics of Nyanza region. Close, they're almost the same. Therefore, looking into how this guy was able to take care of the county, was able to manage the public funds or the resources, and looking into the person in the caliber of David Maraga, to me, I look into these two individuals as perfect persons that can take care of this country. The only difference between the two, and why I would wish that they remain in the same team, but now we go with David Maraga, according to me, it's on, that is, when it comes to the national policy and the imaging of a nation international wise. That when you look into those two individuals, the only difference between Kibwana and Maraga is that Maraga has an international appeal as compared to as compared to Kibwana. But if you look into their integrity, then those two people are almost the same. Therefore, if we can manage to have these two people, not necessarily as the president and the deputy president, but have these two people in the same team taking sensitive position, then we'll win as a country. To me, Matiang'i is not bad, but not a preferred candidate to me. Because I look at him as a person who has messed at some point in politics, though some other day I was trying to argue and say that he was working on behalf of the boss. But this guy is more of a politician, not as bad as one that we are having today. But if we want to have a serious change and
Can't hear Wanda. Japonji, can you hear Wanda?
Wanda, we lost you.
I can't hear. Wanda, we lost you. As we wind down, take your final shot so we can change the topic. We'll be having a new topic of protesters being charged with terrorism. Currently, I think 100 protesters who were arrested the other day are being charged with terrorism and denied bail. And those who have been given bail, the bails are being set very high. So is it a new way of weaponizing the state against protesters, or what's the way forward? So I hope we can have a look at that. But if you have anything left for the previous topic, you can go ahead. I wonder, can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you.
We lost you. We lost you 2 minutes ago. If you can just retrace back.
I was landing on this one shot that I will prefer the candidature of David Maraga, but I equally wish that Maraga works with Kibwana, not necessarily one being the deputy of the other, but just in the same team and playing a sensitive role in a scenario or in a case that the team wins, because the two persons are persons of integrity. They're persons whose level of honesty is top notch. There are persons who have proven that they are not easy to be put in a pocket and serve the interest of a certain person or quota. They're not persons that are going to get into the MOUs that will hurt the country. Look at the two persons with the knowledge of law and mastery of the law itself and the level of integrity. Then it means the struggle that we're having as a country, people not obeying the constitution. Then we'll be having individuals in a team who believes in the constitution, who are ready to obey the constitution. Only that I was now going for Maraga for the top seat based on the international appeal. Kibwana is he has more of a local appeal as compared to Maraga, who has an international appeal, meaning it will be easier to get one or two, three serious deals or serious country to a region and proper geo-economic arrangement for a country.
Wanda, can I ask you a question?
Japanese.
Between you and Kivuta Kibwana or Maraga, why are you not coming up as a presidential candidate? What is it that is preventing you?
Okay,
can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Wanda, can you hear me? I don't know. Wallace, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I think Wanda has problem. I just wanted to ask him why he's not contesting, because it has reached a point whereby, like you, Wallace, as you come in, why are you not contesting for these these seats?
Okay.
Why not you, Wallace?
Okay. I'll take off around 10 p.m., so I wanted to speak as I exit. But maybe a small advice to Wanda. Remember, when you're electing somebody, the international appeal doesn't matter. They're not running to lead the world. They are running to lead your country. So who knows your country best when it comes to an actual running of a county in your country with all the challenges that are in your country, including having to overrule a tribal kingpin in the county where you're operating, okay? So it's good to have international appeal, but that's why you have diplomats and you have ways to engage. After all, remember, most of the money that has been borrowed so far has been borrowed and gone into odious debt. And our country actually is very wealthy. Our problem has been the mashimo in corruption. That's why when we went from Moi to Kibaki, suddenly we had surplus in money because some loopholes had been plugged in initially that of course reopened later. So we can say that I think Kenya is more than able to do most of its things with the monies that we collect if we can ziba as many ufisadi loopholes as possible. And in that also, we the people can help, but that's a different plan. International appeal, and I don't even know what you mean by that exactly. I think it boils down to work that has been done leading actual people, an actual constituency of people who are resisting you actively. Buddha you can't beat him. But as I've said, if he refuses to run, because we are going to push him to do that, then you are left with Akina Maraga and the best options you have, maybe, I can see Japan is getting surprised. But as I exit, this thing of charging...
Wallace, you mean to say we take Maraga, Okia Umtata, and Kivuta Kibwana tuwafungie kwa room, waende wa decide, we wait for white smoke?
See what I decide. I've just told you, if we decide to do Mzalendo's voters network or something, where we are voting for Kenya, not for the individuals, we look at the track record of anybody who has decided they are ready to run by 2027. Whoever passes, we tell them we are going to support you as Maraga, or we are going to support you as Omtata, or we are going to support you as Kibuda, and we would like you not to split the votes. Can you agree?
But Wallace, as you learned, before I bring in Western, Wallace, you're saying that we, what do you mean by we? Do we have a structure where we can, we can speak from. At what standpoint, are we speaking from?
That's why I've told you, like now as we are talking with you, there's that Gen Z's movement, think tank, and all that everything that is built, okay? And I shared the vision of we the people. What do you mean when you say we? Me and you. A group doesn't begin with 1 million people. It begins with 1. It begins with 2. It grows as long as it has something constructive about it that appeals to anybody that is reasonable. Bishwa Abdullah would join if he knows there's a team of people that want the best for Kenya, as well as Mr. Pubu? I'm trying to remember the name. Let me hover over his name. Pubungu. They'll join. So don't worry about the team will come together when you create the right vision at its core. And which right now we are saying we are voting for Kenya. So that when you approach somebody like that, you're not telling them we are here to support Omtata. Then they say, I don't like Mom. No, we say, do you love Kenya? Yes. Do you want what is best for Kenya? Yes. Do you want the best job descriptions for all these positions? Yes. And we work together, we identify them. Then we see who among the people who want to run for all these posts are best qualified for them. And then we, the people, can even fundraise for them. We can help them campaign so that they have they don't need money to bribe voters. And then now when they get into office, they have to steal back all the money they spent bribing voters. So that's what I mean by...
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Wallace. Well understood.
We'll catch up next time.
So, thank you. So Wallace, yeah, good night. See you. I know you're going for another space. Okay, so as I bring in Western, we were discussing about funding politicians for their campaign, presidential campaign or any other seat. And there were a lot of different opinions here. And then we just switched the topic to protesters being charged with terrorism. We've seen about 100 protesters, and they have been charged with terrorism and denied bond. And some bonds have been set very high. So is it the state weaponizing the police and justice system, or what's the way forward? Thank you, Western, and welcome to the mic.
Thank you, Japonj, and thank you, everyone. Japonj.
Hata kama mimi ndio nikuja kabla ya Western, but Western go ahead. Wachana Japonj. This Japonj guy is
Japonj, wacha justice.
No. By the way, what I was saying, you probably cover that. Go ahead, Western. Go ahead, Western.
Thank you. Japonj, do we care to find out some background about these politicians, really? Do we? Do we care? I don't think we do. And these are not like people who lived 60 years ago. These are people who are living at our times. And if anything, just 5-10 years ago, things that are very fresh. Kivuda Kibwana is reactionary. He's a status quo person. Very much. You people find time and go and read the Hansard, those records in Parliament. Just go and read them. Go and read his views about the constitutional review process, the committee of experts report. Look for it and read his views. They're there documented. He was for a powerful presidency. He opposed devolution and the Bill of Rights. Just look for those reports. It's not hearsay, because he was Kibaki's advisor at that time when this process was taking place. He did. He's actually among the people who are party to. You remember that draft thing that was defeated, if you recall, that Wako draft. He was party to the people who wanted to impose on Kenya that draft, which was top heavy to retain the imperial presidency. He was lands minister, and he was also implicated in a whole host of theft as lands minister. You know how volatile the lands ministry is. He held that position. He did. So he's not a progressive person, but if you don't know him, you say, no, this is my presidential candidate.
What? No. Professor Kibwana was implicated in what? In the land thing?
Yes.
What? Which one?
In corruption about land grabs during the land ministry, when he was the head of the land ministry. Land grabs. presiding over graft, was lands minister. Remember, Justice, the powers that be are very particular on who holds that ministry. Because
I know for land and interior, yes, they are very particular. They
they're
know.
very particular. So don't say you are oblivious or how things happen in Kenya. They will not just gonna pick you for certain ministries in Kenya, will they? They won't. And then he was against the federal system of governance. It's federal. The thing some Kenyans have been fighting for, not this devolution thing. This is watered down. Federal system is where you've got big administrative units, bigger budgets, semi-autonomous. They can enact their own issues and laws without interference from the central government. He opposed it for a unitary state. He did. And unitary state is about an imperial president. He faced scrutiny from the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, ESCC. Recall? When he was in Makueni, Public Accounts Committee, over allegations of misappropriating approximately 1.4 billion shillings in county funds when he was governor. He did. Are you aware of that? Did you? Appointment of his brother Patrick Kibwana as county health chief officer.
No. I think on this one, I really want to have.
That was nepotism.
No. So I'm not trying to cut you, but I really want to have Kibwana come and answer this because.
Well, I've never asked him these things. I did.
No, we asked him. Our team.
Yeah.
Justice. One second. One second, Justice, 1 second. Justice, these are public records. There's also public record that Kibwana awarded 4 million tender to his wife, Nazi Kivutha, for family planning and youth empowerment. I'm just saying, these are public records. You can Google. Thank you.
No. What I'm trying to say on a fair space, and for you, Japan, you're building this together, Western together, and of course, Mujadala. What I'm saying is that the kind of things that is raising now, we can have. I can talk to Kibwana now. Before I call my phone, my call. Now he can answer. So I have to bring him here to answer this because this is the first time in our space things are being raised about Kibwana. We have never raised this before. You know that. We know that. You have never raised this.
Because
Kibwana
is your friend. You don't want anything raised.
Justice.
I want
Justice, let Western finish. Justice.
As far as I'm concerned.
Western, you continue, but you continue. But I really...
As far as I'm concerned, he's not. So he has not declared his candidature, but I'm just saying for those who are enthusiastic about him, whether they know what is in the public domain, it's not secret. Because I'm saying he served not too long ago as governor. As a
Western, yes. You know these things. We can get people here to answer those questions. What you are raising those are serious allegations. These are very serious.
Wait, Justice, you are not his attorney, so just hold your peace. You are not holding.
I'm not his attorney. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. These are public figures, and what they have done is their public domain. So it's not like the private things they were doing in their homes. Who would know those things? But once you hold a public office,
okay, go ahead.
It's in the public domain. So he's not really the kind of person I hear you talk about. I don't know. You, and I'm surprised you don't know that. You should do a background check on these people, Justice, and help people who don't know them. Kibwana, the other day, not too long ago, should be a month or so ago, Miguna reminded him of how he frustrated the constitutional review process when he was PNU advisor, legal advisor. Miguna was ODM legal advisor when he was working at the Prime Minister's office. And he uploaded documents online. Kibwana didn't respond to those issues. He did not. When he was on this spaces, I asked him these questions. He did not respond. He didn't. So it's not like I'm telling you things I've not asked him myself. I've asked him these things.
He will come here. He will come here, and you will have all the time to ask him. I promise that. I promise that 100%.
So I just see desperation really all over the place. You know, it's just desperation. But it's not like you can say these names that are being fronted can pass the muster when it comes to moral rectitude. They can't. You just say you want the least bad candidate or president. I don't know even what that means. The least bad. You've got awful choices. You just want the least bad. But Kenyan political figures, you can't distinguish them on the basis of moral rectitude and integrity. You cannot. You will get a ton of evidence. Just key in the details. It's like there's some machine there. They will bring out tons and tons of evidence. Why that person does not even come anywhere close to passing chapter 6 on integrity. So you run with your
at this rate that we don't need a president, because you guys, if you are BSing Professor Kibwana,
It's not that we don't. It's not. Listen carefully.
Who do we have then?
Listen, the thing is, what we are talking about is that we're in deep problems. Deep. If you listen to these things, it's not like people are nihilistic. It's evident that we're in deep problems. And therefore, if you focus on personalities, you are not moving forward. In fact, you're going backwards. You get the problem. The problem is we're in deep problems, and you think to get out of these problems, we have to identify personalities. Now, that is not far-sighted. It's not. Because you run a risk of falling into the hands of some of the individuals who have been contributory to the mess in which we are. If you don't know, you get. It's not nihilistic. It's not that we don't need a president or we don't want a president. It's that our problems are deep-rooted. And the most unfortunate thing is that some of the people you are passing for change makers or potential change makers, they just cross their fingers and say, what? They don't know what I did. My God must be working hard. They don't know what I did. So they read it from that perspective, that it needs a little bit deeper thinking and reflection than what we're doing. That's the point that we are making. It's not that we don't need of course, we will have a president. But if we will have a president, be realistic and honest and say, no, we're not going to get a president who is markedly different from the one who is there. If you are realistic like that, then we can talk. But if you're going to hoist people against the status quo, some of whom or majority of whom are apologists of the status quo, then there is no integrity in that kind of conversation. There isn't. That's the point we're making. There isn't. So if we are hoisting a damaged candidate, let's make it known that this is a damaged candidate. But we are hoisting him nonetheless. And hopefully he's going to garner majority support. But don't hoist the damaged candidate and try to make others believe that the candidate is clean, when in actual sense the candidate is not clean. Just that's the point we're making. Honesty, even when you front a candidate that's not worth, be honest about it.
Remember, we fronted Prof. Kibwana is out now, according to your analysis, which I want to challenge it when he comes in, because I really want him to come in so that we can talk a sober way of analysis. Then Piero Lumumba, I think he's out, according to you. Now, I'm stuck. I'm stuck on what are we doing next. So who are we fronting? Who then do we front? Of course, Margaret Kenyatta is out.
Just you know where the problem lies. This problem lies in the fact that look at last time I talked about this huge irony. It's big. You know, a massive wave of young people out to uproot the status quo, but they don't have a candidate.
Young people,
Don't have a
kama
candidate.
Femi Badi na Japan, these are poor people. You can't use them as an example. They don't have money. They don't have anything. So please stay away from them.
But they don't have a candidate who falls within their age bracket. That can only happen in Kenya, Justice. I don't see that happening anywhere in the world. It can only happen in Kenya. And therefore, that's indicative of the crisis I'm talking about here. Before even you start defending Kibwana or Maraga, can you just ask yourself why? Why people would have numbers and not have one of their own to front for president? Isn't that a crisis of leadership? It is. Because I said the other day, if you go to Uganda, young people are not putting their lives on the line because of somebody who is as old as Museveni. They are putting their lives on the line for someone who is within their age bracket. Bobby Wine. That's what they are doing. That's the person they want to be president of Uganda, not some old person who they're trying to sanitize. If you go to South Africa, young people are not on the streets in universities campaigning for an old politician. They campaign for fellow young people. That's the point I'm making.
Malema is younger than me. I called him the other day and I told him, brother, you're younger than me. What can we do? Malema is arrogant as you can ever get. Malema is, by the way, is younger than me by far. But continue.
So, Justice, why would you want to fundraise for Maraga? Who is, when he was in the studio, he's talking about pension. How can you want to fundraise for someone like that? And when you listen to him, he tells you, there are people who pushed him to become president. It's like it's never crossed his mind that he could be president of Kenya one day. People visited him and told him, look here, you can be president. And so let me think about it.
I want him to be president.
Like, we're doing badly, Justice. We're doing badly. Yeah, we're doing badly. Because, I mean, fundraise for yourself. Fundraise for yourself. But then I'm saying,
they won't give me money. They won't give me money because I was arrested once. I was arrested once outside my house. That's the only thing that they keep fighting against me. Ask Leol and Nambia, I can't do it because somebody called the police outside my house, my freaking house. So
Justice
the answer is that
familia usilete huko.
We're doing real thing because I want Western to really get into this, because the language you guys are using today, Western for the first time in our spaces. I'm a letter history Professor Kibwana.
No,
I never thought Kibwana. No. I never thought Kibwana would be a subject in our space. So for me, this is big for me because I will have to call Kibwana to come in and answer. Why? Because I think, honestly speaking, Western is a good scholar, fair, but I think today is unfair to Kibwana. Honestly speaking, I don't have to. You guys, we have to wait to have a.
Let's give Western the chance to finish, and then
but on this one, I think we have to have. We have to talk. You guys are scholars together. You do the same.
Please, just allow Western to learn so we can have other speakers, please. Thank you.
Thanks, their point. Justice, you're not going to move Kenya forward if you come up with the holy cows. You shouldn't have any holy cow. You shouldn't. If you have a holy cow,
you're unfair on somebody who is not currently not holding a public office. You're being unfair.
Justice, I'm packing that. I'm not gonna go forward with it. I leave it at that because
just please sit that out until we talk.
There is we are not going to have a conversation. I can see you've got your holy cow and you want this holy cow to remain sacred. So I will grant that to you so that you continue worshiping your holy cow. I'm not going to desecrate it further, if at all I have by now. But what I'm just saying is that never ever should you approach politics like a cult. It's not a cult. I'm going to support you on these things, not because I like the way you are dancing or you're singing. But if I have evidence that you don't measure up to these things, I withdraw my support. That's how politics operates. I am going to withdraw my support.
But on a serious note, Professor Kibwana, I think you're being unfair to Bwana. I'll keep saying that until he comes to defend. I'm not here to speak for himself, but he has to come and speak.
I'm not talking about you particularly, but what I'm saying is that we shouldn't be infatuated by politicians and public figures. If we have got emotions, let's preserve those emotions for worthy things, not investing emotions in flawed human characters. That's not going to help you or me or anybody. It doesn't. After all, we want things to be done. It's not like we want to exchange love letters. That's not what we engage. Why we engage in politics? We don't want to exchange.
Kibwana is a liberal scholar like us, so I don't agree with you today. For the first time, by the way, I don't agree with you about Kibwana is a liberal. It's really out here for us, fighting with us. I don't know why. I don't know why you are against him. I don't even understand.
I'm not against Kibwana. I don't know him, Justice. I don't know him. I've never run against any office against him. So I don't know him at a personal level. He's a public figure, as I said. And I said, what public figures do is there in the open for all to see. They don't carry files back home. They don't erase records. The records are there. I said Hansard. Go and read the Hansard. Go to the.
I'm going back. I'll call him after this, by the way. I'll call him after
Go and read the Committee of Experts report. Go and read it. So let's pack it there. Go and read those things.
I'll go. So
Leon and Japonji, I'm saying, if you want to distinguish, you see, you don't distinguish a politician from another on the basis of your likes or dislikes.
Especially Professor Kibwana is like there's nothing like dislikes.
Justice, can you let person finish?
Oh my goodness.
Go ahead, Weston.
I'm saying you don't distinguish a politician from another on the basis of likes and dislikes. There are fundamental things that should tell you this politician is distinct from the other. One of which is what they call your philosophy in terms of governance, your philosophy in terms of Kenya's economic structure. Well, how do you read Kenya's economic structure? Don't just tell people you'll end corruption, or you let people work independently, or you'll ensure there's a rule of law. Everyone says these things, even dictators call themselves Democrats. They purport to preside over democracies. So everyone says these nice things. No, there will be no corruption. Oh, I'll ensure that, experts work and what. No. What is your thinking about the current Kenyan problems? How would you think about them? And when you look at these people, they all have got similar talking points, like William Ruto's talking points. Similar. Like no one tells you, where we are, it's high time we cut off this reliance on external actors and take charge of our affairs. No one tells you that. No one tells you that. Everybody else will tell you how America is good for us, how the international community is good. You've heard here about international appeal. That's the things I'm talking about. Why would a presidential candidate in Kenya have international appeal? Well, you can have international appeal, but do you appeal to Kenyans? Do you? How are we going to, locate Kenya within Africa? Do you know why we lose elections whenever we present candidates across Africa? It's not just AU. In many other things, Rwanda, a small country, never loses those positions. But with us, we perennially lose those positions. And people say, no, we did not. Because across Africa, we're seen to be Eurocentric. Our thinking is Muzungu. When Muzungu has got things to experiment in Africa, one of the countries will be Kenya. As we speak now, they're talking about kids getting vaccines in schools without the permission of their parents. Things that have been happening even before this government. They happened before they happened. Just guinea pigs. No one says anything. Your child goes to school and told, no, they were injected. I don't know, is it COVID, whatever. No permission. No one asks. Like,
No,
why?
but you see, Western, I think I have to call you out on this one because this is for the first time. I don't like doing that. You have students. You have taught many students and who listen to you. Professor Kibwana has. James Mujadala has. I have my students, okay? But you today, for the first time, you are calling out Kibwana, but who's on the same philosophy?
No, but
No. Hang on, let me finish. Let me finish. Oh, okay.
No, I'm not talking about Kibwana. Like,
yeah, but you just. But we. This is
Justice,
it's
it
the
doesn't
same philosophy like us.
It doesn't mean that just because they are in the same profession, you can't call your favorite.
No philosophy.
Out.
No, I don't care about profession because I have other people who are stupid. No, we have teachers who are stupid. No, we have teachers who are stupid.
Let's hear what
Mr. Western is
what I was saying. Give me 20 seconds to deal with justice.
Okay.
First of all, shame on you. Can you wait?
No, why do you give
no,
Mujadala a chance?
Shame on
Why do you
you,
give
man.
Mujadala? Who gave me a chance to speak? You're not supposed to speak.
Shame on you, Justice. First of all, just because Western
I'm not defending anybody,
doesn't
but
mean you
you
cannot call him out. Wacha wewe unafanya hii story hata
wewe justice soft spot yako for Kibwana inafanya bana, utaki mtu aongee bana, it's the truth.
Nimenyamaza. Najua Mjadala akikuja hapa, Mjadala and of course Western. These are my seniors, so I have to. Sasa nimenyamazishwa.
Tulia. Western, you have 1 minute bana. Maliza tuendelee na story. Tashinda hapa.
I don't know really, but it pains me that we can be like this. Like, are we really here for personalities, or we're here for Kenya? Like, it pains me. We're here for Kenya. And it's not like we're so desperate that we just want...
Kibwana is for Kenya too. Thank you.
So, if Kibwana is thrown under the bus, let him be run over by the bus and move on. Kenya is bigger than one particular individual.
Yeah, but we just have to have him on our space to answer that question.
Justice, you know, first of all, let's set justice straight. First of all, Leon, can you put justice in the listener today because he's misbehaving?
Okay.
Because he's a public official who has served and he can be critiqued, and we're critiquing him based on facts that are or in the public domain. So we cannot keep going back and forth with justice. Okay, justice huko kwa listener, enda angalia huko ma tweets huko kwa comment. Tuendelee. Thank you very much, Western. Academy ongea.
I think I'm going to land on that because justice just keeps interjecting. But what I'm going to say is this, that I listened to Maraga's interview yesterday. I think it exposed him a great deal. It's not fit for purpose. You know, you want somebody who gets into State House and starts running from day one. Not I've got experts, I'm still listening. No, those experts must implement the things he has. He must actually tell them what he wants to be done, not to think for him. So he must have his own ideas on what is wrong with Kenya and how to fix that. Not these experts. We know of experts, commissions of inquiry, task forces. Those are expert-related things, and they have not taken us anywhere. They're very low-hanging fruits. You should have told that woman in the studio, no sooner have I been sworn in than I do A, B, C, and D, executive orders. There are things you can repeal immediately. You don't need any processes. Those are low-hanging fruits. He didn't mention any single thing that he would do on day one or a couple of them. He says, no, my experts are still figuring out these things. So I don't think he's fit to run the country. He's not. He comes across as extremely naive. And in this cutthroat political environment, people would have him for dinner. These people would have him for dinner. Talks about resetting Kenya, resetting it back to what? There has never been rule of law in Kenya. So what do you mean by resetting it back to the rule of law? It's never been there. What is it going to reset back to? What was there before wasn't working. It's not working now. So which back of normalcy that is he talking about that he wants to restore? It was not there. It wasn't there. So he was asked about if people are marching to State House, what would you do? You remember police would come and stop them. I don't know whether even he realized he had made a mistake in responding to that. He said that the police would come with shields and block them. Oh, they would come with shields. You think so? So he would also stop you if you try to march to State House. He would stop you. And I can guarantee you the police will not stop you using shields. They would be armed. He said it. So he's part of the status quo, or really, he is. Because you don't rise to the position he rose, especially Chief Justice. If you're not part of the status quo, you will not rise. They're not going to give you a chance. The only thing they thought he was user-friendly, but then he did something that was least expected. He led the Supreme Court that annulled that election in 2017. They did not expect him to do something like that. Otherwise, he's a status quo person, a systems person, if you like.
Leon, can you give me a minute to ask Western a question tafadhali before he lands? Thank you. Western, can you ask you something, please?
Proceed.
Go ahead. You can ask anything, Betty. Don't be intimidated by Western.
Okay. No, I'm not intimidated. Justice, come on.
You have respect. But I told you have to have respect for Western because kuna watu wanakuja. No, ngoja kidogo before you
umemaliza minutes zangu.
Ngoja. You have time. You will be given time. I have a big problem when people come and disrespect Western because that's not how we do our space here. Because Western is he has invested all this time to get this knowledge.
Why are you preaching water? Why are you preaching water?
No, I have to preach because kuna watu walikuja wakaambia Western mambo mabaya.
But when umekuwa ukimcut off
utaambia Western hiyo mambo baadaye.
No, but I don't want you I don't want you to disrespect somebody who has spent his whole life.
Right? Okay. Now I will stop you.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Leon. Western, I wanted to ask you something. Can you tell us who you're supporting, please? Because every time we come up...
Does he have to support anybody?
Justice, false, unyamaze, guy. When you Western, you're not Western,
Justice, can I respond to the question?
Please do, Western.
My answer, for some reason, has been answered by Justice. I don't have to support someone by now. I don't. Election is quite a while.
The reason why I asked Western. You know the reason why I really asked that question? Because you have been on our back every now and then. When there's a candidate, Western, you must tell us, oh, this candidate have done this and this and this. Give us a solution, Western. That's why we want a solution from the elders, Western. Tafadhali, please.
But I'm asking Justice or Leon, I'm asking, why would somebody who, how do I put it? Your currency in participation in politics is about age. That is the currency I see all over the place. These elderly people have messed up the country. They have done things badly before. That's why we are where we are. But you go to the same elderly people. I don't understand that frame of mind. I don't get it. I don't. But that's why whoever you present, who has been part of this establishment, will be found wanting. So the only way you can avoid that is you present yourself or somebody whose history does not stretch back into the past. That's the only way you'll escape this scrutiny. But anytime you bring somebody who has been part of the establishment, they will be found wanting, especially if you didn't ever think you'll be president. Because there's some people, they serve as a cabinet minister, they have no ambitions of becoming president. Or they wake up at some, no, I want to be president. They'll bring out your scorecard. They'll bring out your scorecard. But if you know you want to be president like Barack in the US, you act accordingly. You act accordingly. That is it. So you don't just wake up and say, no, I want to be president. They'll bring out your scorecard.
I have a question for Western. Is it possible? Western, I have a question for you.
Is that Femi?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's fine. That's fine.
Oh, proceed, Femi.
If democracy is an illusion and politics, we are ruled by the, what do you call them? We call them plutocrats. Do you think there is any possibility that we'll be able to overcome our myth of the myth of democracy being the myth? Do you think there is anywhere in this world, exact, because politics is not just based in Kenya, it's worldwide. Do you think humans have any prospect of ever achieving this myth, making this a reality instead of a myth?
Femi, that's a pertinent question. I reflect on that question. You see, initially, I didn't agree with Plato's idea of democracy. It's very elitist. It talks about philosopher kings. You know, people are schooled and schooled and schooled, and therefore they have a lot of knowledge and ideas. And by that dint of knowledge and ideas, are fit to rule and govern. Well, we've had such people. Mwalimu Nyerere was a philosopher king in Tanzania. Leopold Sedar Senghor was a philosopher king in Senegal. These are philosophers. They were thought leaders, not just politicians. They were also thinkers. And you can go on and on and on. But it's not possible to have this kind of people across the board. So to make do with what you have. But then the challenge is this, Femi. The challenge is one. In as much as it's about universal suffrage, one man, one vote. Nobody has got a veto power. Democracy cannot find traction where you've got many, many social problems, social challenges. Simply put, you cannot build democracy on poverty and inequalities. You can't. You cannot. That is the brutal truth. That's why you find we're struggling all over Africa, because you're not going to do that. And history also shows that we are not going to succeed anytime soon. Because if you look at East Asian tigers, these are countries that are always cited. South Korea, Taiwan, those Malaysian countries, Singapore, name them. These were dictators, at some point, and for quite some time. These were dictators, in the sense that the leaders of these countries at some point did not countenance democracy. They had vision, which they wanted to execute. And they executed that vision. And then subsequently, once they had raised people's living standards, then they embraced democracy to sustain those gains. So South Korea did not begin as a democracy. It started as a dictatorship. Taiwan did not begin as a democracy. China is not a democracy. I did not start as one. It's not even one as we speak. But you can see they're making progress. So at some point, we hope that they will embrace democracy fully after they have realized whatever gains they want to realize. Rwanda is not a democracy, but you can see they're making progress compared to many other African countries. They're making a lot of progress, but they're not a democracy. If you like, it's a dictatorship. clothed in democracy. But it's not one size fits all. It's what suits you. So if you think you can do the democracy and make gains, then embrace democracy. We can also study you at some point that Kenya had massive problems. They embraced democracy, and through democracy, they solved those problems. So they are not like South Korea. This is a unique case study. They're not like China. But I'm saying, if you look at history, there's no history to back you up, that you can have lots of poverty, lots of inequalities, lots of divisions within the society along ethnic, regional, and religious lines, and at the same time make tremendous progress as far as democracy is concerned. It's a Herculean task, but you can try. I'm saying we can try it, but it's a Herculean task in the sense that there's no historical antecedent to prove that that is possible. So for me, that's what I would say. It may be a myth, it may not be a myth. It could be an illusion, it could not be an illusion. It only depends on how your leader defines their purpose vis-a-vis the society in which that leader finds himself. That's the key thing. And that's why Burkina Faso, we are talking about Burkina Faso now. It's not a democracy. But there are those who think that Burkina Faso is making some progress, which it could not make when it had democracy. People elected through universal suffrage. Things were not happening. Now they can say things are happening. And they can look back at Thomas Sankara era in the 80s. Things were happening. But Thomas Sankara was a military man, was not democratically elected. But they'll say they made a lot of progress within the 3 or so years he was in power. So it's what suits you. That would be my response, Femi.
Thank you. So another one, as we are chasing,
Femi. Allow me.
Let me just.
No. Allow me, for the sake of others, also to move on, because Western has been speaking really for the last 45 minutes.
Mjadala.
Yes.
The reason why I asked is because Western quoted the Molo Code. So the reason why I wanted to add this question to him is in concern with the morals that he has raised of the leaders that we are selecting. The reason why I asked that question is bringing me to my last question. Allow me to ask the last one.
I will not. Just sit on it, and you'll ask it when you come next time. Because honestly, let's give others a chance to talk as well.
It will lose the consistency of the question. It will lose the consistency.
Well, then I'm sorry. Let's give others an opportunity as well. Thank you very much. Right now, I'd like to give Academia, please.
Sorry, Mjadala. Anthony, can we give Anthony 2 minutes? He wants to talk about something. Yeah, Anthony and then Academia.
All right, as the host says, Anthony.
Thank you. Allow me to spend the 2 minutes. I came in because I saw the topic, protesters being charged with terrorism, and I wanted to give an update on that. So we have a working group that has come up with a pay bill. We are working with the legal representatives of the protesters, who is Honorable Gasheri. She's a women rep for Kirinyaga, and she's also a lawyer. We've come up with a pay bill that goes direct to her law firm. It's going to be accounted for because we have 2 members of LSK in this committee, and someone will be giving daily updates of how much we've raised. I believe I can give you the numbers right now. So the pay bill is right there on your. I forgot what this thing. I think it was called Upper June. Nani Mjadala will tell you. Yes, the Jumbotron. That's the pay bill. So far we've raised, we've set it up at 9, we've raised close to 131,000 on that pay bill. So for anyone who wants to contribute, that's the pay bill you can use. And we anticipate to raise around 10 million shillings, which will cover for all people who have the various charges from terrorism to robbery with violence. And we've also come up with a criteria of separating those who are actually caught stealing and those who are just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like people who are picked from their houses, others were picked from our tattoo, others were just going home. So we've come up with that criteria using the lawyers in this team.
Thank you. So what's the direction, Anthony? You're saying that anybody who has kiti ya kuchanga tume pale, ndio?
Did you hear me?
Yeah, they can send it to that pay bill.
Okay.
Yes, I'll not stay long because I've just I've traveled for like 2.5 hours. Then I was somewhere with Ayo, so I just want to go to sleep. But I love whatever you are discussing.
Good. Thank you very much. Leo pay bill number ameweka hapo juu kule ama sioni? Umeshaweka Leon?
Mjadala sikusikii poa. Can you check
Yes,
your
ameweka. It's there.
Yeah.
It's under the post for
Okay,
Nyamisa
very good.
Wanjiku. Nyamisa Anyang something. Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Then let's carry on then. Academia mambo?
Poa sana. Habari yenu?
Tuko sawa. Karibu.
Actually, nilikuwa nataka kujibu Justice. Kuna kitu Justice alikuwa naongea hapo. But anyway, let me just, I think it's there. I think we talked about that yesterday about the age that what Western was talking about. For now, I think people have decided that there is no Gen Z in that bracket that would vie for presidency in 2027. And they have not also settled on one specific candidate because there are people who are pro Maraga, there are people who are pro Matiang'i. And then that means another candidates. So that means they have not come out in solidarity to rally behind one candidate. So until we reach a point where they have only one candidate, then we can now talk from there. Another thing is that these candidates, you cannot ask somebody who they are supporting because our work is to look at the characters of people who have shown the interest in presidency 2027. So when you bring somebody, and for me, I will tell you the reason why I'm opposed to that. So don't blame me for telling you the reason why I'm opposed to that. I'm simply stating facts about somebody. Remember, my senior Professor Kibutha Kibwana was on the list of Chief Justice. I also asked him about his stand on BBI because he was initially, he supported the BBI and he called on MCS to support the BBI. So he was part of BBI team. Immediately, the High Court decision is the same person who lauded the High Court decision in validating the BBI. To me, that is what we call opportunistic flip-flopping or hypocrisy. In 2022, he publicly decampaigned President Ruto. And immediately, Ruto was sworn in. He was among the first people who went to State House. I don't know what he was doing there. And he supported Ruto. Within less than a year, he then decamped from supporting Ruto. He is again opposed to Ruto. So I think that is somebody full of contradictions. You cannot trust. And I did ask him those things. I think we were with Western Tide. I'm the one who asked him first. He did not answer those things. So to tell us that you will bring Kibutha Kibwana to answer, he will not answer them, or he will choose to answer the way he wants, but that would not water down the truth about him, because you don't expect him to accept. He never accepted in any forum, and that, remember, he was part of which he came from a well-established activist. as a lawyer and all that. So when he supported Kibaki as I think he was one of the chief advisors on legal issues, he was accused, and in the history, that he delayed the process of constitution, and he was one of the people who did not want, who interfered with the original copy of the constitution. And I also question him on that. He accepted that there was a problem with that, but he never answered me the way I wanted, because I wanted him to take responsibility. He avoided. He blamed other group. No, he cannot run away from that. So from 202 to 205 to 207. So we had to shed blood for us to come up with 2010. And there were people who were in charge for that. So I will never forgive you for that. We can forgive you, but we cannot forget. So those are things. Remember when I was talking about yesterday, I pointed out what Kalonzo did when he had power in 90s and all that. So our work, or my work, for me, you bring me a candidate, I will go and ask whether the principles or credibility of this candidate. So when I have a problem with that candidate, I will always point out. And that does not mean Kenyans cannot elect, they can elect. But that aside, so now, as I learned, I think many people, more people will come. So when they come on board, our work is to put them through the test. It's not to ask them to tell us whatever they want to do. They know you are running for that office, you know why you are running. And you are seeking support from the public to give you that mandate. So Kenyans will decide who they are going to elect. What I know, people have not settled. Maybe the people have not settled on one candidate. Remember, Ruto is there and very many other people. So for us to delude ourselves that the Gen Z candidate, not of age, but the Gen Z movement is now about a new paradigm shift that many Kenyans align themselves with. That we want a new Kenya, we want things done differently. So I will take that movement, Gen Z movement. It is branded Gen Z movement for the best alternative that Kenya wants. So it is not about probably age. That is why the question of Maraga is, you can ask. I also did ask about a retired Chief Justice should be writing memoirs, how they work and all that. But it's now come back to, we expect people who have served at that age to write their memoirs. The memoirs, yeah, they should be writing. We read their history, we go to schools, they meet youth, but not telling us that he's invited to run for president, therefore is running on the basis that he's invited. No, nobody invites you to run for president because that is power. Nobody gives you power. You go fight for it and take it. You run with it at all cost, snatch it at all cost, maintain it at all cost. You do whatever you want to do with power. You will always protect it at all cost. So, and that does not negate the fact that Maraga can run for that. So, just Mujadala now under 1 minute. Let us be honest. Let us be honest, because to say that Maraga is a candidate for the Gen Z movement is to lie. Because even in this space, there are many people who are not supporting Maraga, because you don't need to say, you can easily tell how they talk and will tell you, this guy is leaning towards Okium Tata than Maraga. This guy is pro Matiang'i than Maraga. So it's a wait and see thing. So let us just hope, allow everybody who wants to come, will come. At the time, in the fullness of time, as they say, Kenyans will decide the person they rally behind for today. For now, let it come, and you can just choose your candidate even today. So what if we settle Maraga? By the time we go for election, Maraga has withdrawn, or due to others, it can even withdraw due to many other factors. So will you not vote? No, you will have to vote. Because if you support Maraga and it withdraws, what happens? The other people can do. So I think those are other factors we must consider before we say either way we will have Maraga. Even these people can withdraw because we're still a long way. And in politics, there's very variable things. There are many variables that determine how somebody reaches that ballot. Thanks.
Asante sana Academia. Now, again, we're having this conversation here, and again, we're talking about our politics and the people that are leading us. The topic generally today is about people being charged with terrorism, protesters being charged with terrorism. So you can opine on that, but also I want us to investigate a couple of things that have come up so far. And when I finish this submission, I'll give Abdul and then Kowino, then Betty in that order. Some things that have come up. Academia says that there's a paradigm shift. I want you folks to talk a little bit about that. Is it a paradigm shift or ni mambo ya vijana still? Another thing that has come up here is that why is it that we are still supporting people who are, according to Academia, should be writing the memoirs? I don't agree in ageism like that, but yet again, this is what some of the submitters have said. Another thing that has risen up is that people are questioning, like kusema tu kwamba wewe ni kijana is not enough. On the one end, mnasema wazee waende home waandike memoirs. On the other end, just saying that wewe ni kijana is not enough. So Abdul, Kowino, and then Betty in that order. Na tupange hivi tuongee kama dakika 3 dakika 4 hivi ndio tuende haraka watu wengine pia waongee. Conversation will be sweeter that way. Asante sana Abdul.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll be very brief and also recommend you. I'm asking you to be here most of the time because so that we can have just now for ourselves. Thank you. So the thing is, we are talking about we are talking about a paradigm shift, and I agree with everything that Academia said. We are talking about a paradigm shift, and to Western, I might be on the ballot, so do not worry. I don't think you have my background and history, so there will be nothing to against me. Anyway, so the thing is a paradigm shift. So it is not about age to me. We are talking about Gen Z because they are the one who are on the streets doing everything, but it has always been about integrity, accountability, end to corruption, and get our country back. So if we can get people with proven track record who have done that before, there's no problem aligning with those people. The thing is, currently, it is true that we do not have these candidates officially. The thing is only Maraga who was officially declared. For those of us who are on the other side, are declared to run for president. Kifuda Kibwana, and I've seen a lot of things about him today. He has not even declared. Omutata has not officially declared, and I love Omutata and I love everything he's doing. But Maraga has officially declared that he will be on the ballot. That's why I'm aligning more with Maraga, because some few months ago we were talking about these people not doing anything and tunataka kwenda ground. So since someone taking some steps, I will align with that person. The thing is, paradigm shift. People talk about you cannot just elect Maraga, but you will not have MPs, you will not have MCS, you will not have. I want to demystify that. You know, MPs, MCS, governors, and even the president themselves are elected by people. They are elected by voters. So I believe that if you are going to vote for Maraga, you need to elect also MPs, MCAs, governors, and all leaders who align with the values that is the paradigm shift. You need to be able to elect an MP that align with the integrity that you want, that align with accountability, with the values that you. So if we vote at that level, there will be no problem, because Maraga will get the MPs, MCAs, governors. And to also, as we're electing people, we're not electing people so that they can become, they will become the stamps So the guys they will come to worship the president. No, they will come to do their job. So if Kenyans now take that into the ballot, there's no any single MP unless around 90% of the MPs, they will not come. So I'm wondering how you can elect the president and the same MPs come. Then it shows a lot of you. It's not about the presidency. It is about every post that you are going to do. If you are going to elect for someone, vet them. And I liked vetting because I've seen Western academia giving us some insights about people that we did not know. The thing is, there was something that Japonje asked, but is not here, about overrepresentation, and I wanted to answer that. The thing is, we have overrepresentation, but it is true. But the other thing is, we have too few performers. You have too many leaders, and out of these too many leaders, you have so many few performers. So as we go to the ballot, let us elect leaders with integrity and accountability. And this is not, I will repeat that this is not the president alone. Give us the MPs, give us the MCs, and give us every other elective position so that these people can come there knowing they do not elect Sudi, someone that says he does not go to parliament. Please elect people who know their job. Legislative, representation, and oversight. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being precise. Kawino, take it from there. If you can opine on a little bit of the things that Abdullah said, and then add your own comments on the topic and the things that we're talking about today.
Thank you, Daktari. First, hata mimi nilikuwa nimekuja tu kuuliza just swali, but time has now passed. Sio kama swali yangu bado iko anyway, you will answer it later. I hope you will answer it. First of all, nilikuwa nataka kusema hizo vitu zenye Western alikuwa anasema about Prof Kibwana. It's not like they are allegations as justice claims. They are not allegations. They're in the public domain. So I know justice, you have a soft spot for Prof, which is not a bad thing, but it should not blind you from seeing the facts, things that are there, not things that someone is claiming. They are there in the public. Again, me, I've always had my views, like even the pettiest things. I don't believe that Okisha vie for governor, like maybe for 2 terms, and you've served like for 2 terms, you should go back to the Senate. That shows how angry for power you are. Like you just want to, you don't care. That is just one. So I'll leave that there. And then my question for justice would be like, you said Western should not point those things about Prof because he is on our side. He is on the side of the people. What I've been hearing from these places is that everyone that is against Ruto is on the side of the people. Even Rigathi Gachagua, even the Matiang'i, even the people that have been cancelled, most of them are on the side of the people. What does that mean? So should we just support these people because they are on the side, they are not on the side of William Ruto? Or what did you mean by he is on the side of the people? So those things should be pointed out. One thing that Western said that I want to agree with, and I want to say that it should be allowed it should be said in this space is, if someone is dirty and you want to elect him, let the people know that he's dirty, so that when he turns against the people, he won't say that we never knew. So if maybe you want to, I'm just saying that if the Kenyans wanted to elect Prof Kibwana, don't hide things in the past about him that some people don't know. Tell the people about them so that if they elect him, they don't regret later that we were never told, we never read these things about him. Lastly, as I learned, I just want to comment on what Abdullah said. Yeah, very good point about people who are going to vote Maraga in should vote maybe MPs that of integrity and all that. Don't elect Oscar Sudis. But I can tell you, people like Sudi will be re-elected. As painful as it is, they don't campaign on Twitter, they campaign on the ground, and the people on the ground love those petty things that those people do. Those kuita watu kuwanulia unga and all that, that is the unfortunate truth of events in the ground. Again, you can campaign for Maraga, but after campaigning for Maraga, don't just say that watu waende wavotie MPs when you want to align na Maraga. I can be an evil person, but I'm aligning my thoughts with Maraga because I think Maraga is going to be a president. So I know that if I campaign with this guy's portrait, I'll make it to the parliament. Then what next? So we should think about that. Thank you.
No, I'm here. I just want to make clear to Kogwino that what I was saying is that we can get Professor Kibwana here to answer those questions. So mine is not like more of like okay. Yes, I have a soft for people. The same thing. If Western wasn't here, Muchara wasn't here,
Justice, can you
I
tell
can.
us that
But
we can't
justice,
hear Kibwana?
just a moment, Leol. The point is, what Western was saying was
No,
not
no,
questions. If you ask
I
him,
did not disagree.
it
What
was
I
not
said,
questions.
I did not
He was
disagree.
saying, just a moment, please. Just a moment, please. Because I know I've already closed, switched off my mic. But what Western was saying was just opening people's eyes in what is in the public
Yes.
domain. And I was in that specific space when Western asked him those questions, and he couldn't answer them. So it won't be different in your space. It won't be, trust me. But okay, you can give it a shot. You can give it a shot.
No. Nilijibu nikasema, can we get Professor Kibwana here to answer those questions? Because we can. The other people, like if someone talk about Ruto, Ruto, I've asked him to come. I've talked to the little guy, anaitwaje huyu kijana, anaitwaje huyu the boy who does the
Catmuel.
No.
Kioti.
The guy in the state house anaitwaje? Anaka yeye ndiye ana deal with the legal. No.
Justice,
Anyway,
ukikumbuka baadaye utatuambia. Let's go to Samukaya.
Leo kuna ukali.
I know.
Haiko
Hata mimi
haiko
nimeshtuka the same way
haiko moka.
umeshtuka
It was
Mjadala.
Betty.
I'm like, really, I can't talk today. So
Betty, go
anyway,
ahead.
let me say this. So the point I was making, and then I'm not even happy now that the way Leo is trying to cut me off. So what I was saying, Kowino, is that yes, I'm not cutting Western at all. The point I was making is that can we get Professor Kibwana here to answer those questions? And then it would be a very robust conversation. Mjala is here, can moderate and everything, but tumuulize maswali, atujibu. That's the point I was making. But I'm not defending Kibwana at all. Do I think those questions were called for? I think so. It's my own way of because I know Kibwana and I know you the guy who just got his doctorate recently, anaitwaje? The oh gosh. Okay. So the
Nani?
answer
Wajakoya?
is no, not what. Oh yeah, Wajakoya was last week. But there's another one. There's another one
Okay.
who's yeah. So my answer to you, please, Kowino, is that I am not against it, but the people we can have access to, we can bring them over. The ones we don't have access to, then we have no control. So I'll leave it at that. And Mjadala continues with the
Asante
conversation.
sana. Betty, tuendelee na mjadala, alafu tunampatia Sam after Betty. Betty, please.
Unajua Justice for All natukitisha Renzo, utamleta hapa hivi Justice for All. Anyway, it was an
If they agree to come, but my moderator would be Mujadala. Endelea, Betty, endelea.
Oh, can you give someone else a minute to?
Sawa, Sam endelea.
No, the person I was talking to is Kigame. Kigame can come here anytime and defend himself. Robert Kigame. We can bring Kigame here. We can bring Martha Karua. We can bring all these other guys. But the people we don't have to, you can talk about them. But Kigame can come here and talk to us. Thank you.
Sawa, Sam endelea.
Thank you, Justice. Thank you, Leol and Gedala and everyone else. I think I picked the mic because I had Western talk about vaccines, and they said that vaccines are being tried on our children. And I will kindly wish to correct that. By the time a vaccine is administered as the final product, it takes years and years to come up with the vaccine. Trials are done, preclinical trials, clinical trials. By the time people do efficacy testing, it takes a lot of time, and there are a lot of regulations in between, so that the safety and immunity and the side effects are some things that are taken into consideration. So it's not that someone can wake up in the morning and decides to make a vaccine and administer it on children. It's a well-regulated process. It is just unfortunate that sometimes pronouncements come from politicians that let us vaccinate our children, and we attach that to politics. For example, in our country, there are doctors who keep collecting data, how many people have been affected by typhoid, for example, because that is what is currently being the case. What are the resistance levels, and what can be done? So there is public data that is being collected every other time. And public health officials, epidemiologists are also always work on. There are professionals behind these things. And by the time a decision is made that let us do a vaccination, there is a lot of thought, there is a lot of data, and there's a lot of good science that has gone into it. So I know we have trust issues with our government. They can communicate better. They can do things in a better way so that we can trust them more. A mistake was made, for example, in the US, when the current Secretary for Health said that measles causes autism. And 3-4 months later, there was an attack of measles, and some children succumbed, and therefore the children who succumbed to that, and he had to retract that. He had to do a public apology. He had to do a public post that please take your children for measles vaccination. It is also good to trust these processes. They're not there in vain. World Health Organization actually has so many Kenyans. If you interact with them, they're very good people. They have taken their time to go through these processes, and they know what they're doing. We trust Patrick Amoth. I think that is his name. He's doing a good job. So please, I know it is a pain when it comes from a politician because we don't trust them. But these processes are well regulated. Thank you.
Asante. Sam, I just think that in the case of science and vaccines, we just have to, again, while you're bringing in the legal roadmap, we have to mention here without any fear of contradiction that there's a lot of dubious science also happening. Just because there are guidelines that guide the creation and the testing of vaccines does not mean that there are no dubious things that happen with vaccine trials, and there's news after news after news and data after data that can support that point that I just made. So we'll go to academia, then Kibunja, then Western. Na sasa zenye Beti utarudi na nani anaitwaje? Yeah, Beti ukirudi wewe inoto mkono tutakupatia nafasi. Sasa hivi ni academia, Kibunja, then tutaenda kwa Western.
Pass kiasi kwanza.
Okay, sawa, Kibunja and then Western. Kibunja hata umeenda kulala. Sasa ni akina nani hao? Namtaki kuongeza. Sema basi.
Mjadala Mali has spoken. Sana.
Niaje?
Ati Mali amefanya? Ngoja kidogo.
Hajaongea.
Niko poa.
Just spoken.
Sawa, nitampatia baada ya Kibunja. Kibunja, ongea mzee.
Halo, nasikika? Oh, nilikuwa nataka kuambia Sam who have just spoken, although haja mute, that he's explaining how vaccines work, but in an ideal situation. This is Kenya. I'll be very careful. I will not take anything as a propaganda or a mistrust from a politician. Anything in Kenya nowadays, I doubt things, maybe. Maybe the other issue is about Kibwana. Inviting Kibwana is not an issue. As long as it is moderated by Leon, Mjadala ama Japon. Because justice has a way of protecting his friends. You saw that how it ended last time. He kept on interfering on Kina Weston asking questions. Then there is this other guy who came, he wanted to be our president. He was also protected. I think somebody would be lucky to become a justice friends. There is this guy who came yesterday called Rogers. I don't know why people misunderstood him, but he was an entertainer. We need some such people so that wanatupunguzia stress. Sometimes when you have a comedian, lawyers, doctors in this group, in this country, if you take everything serious, utakufa na stress. But that guy really entertained us. Sijawahi enda kwa space mpaka 3. So sometimes it's good you invite him. Kuna watu walisema yeye ni mlevi, which I don't agree. And he made a comment that I've always been thinking about Maraga being a project of Ruto. I don't know why, whether it's a gut feeling or I'm the only one who thinks. But even the way he does his campaign softly, concentrating on Gen Zs, he was just being brought to confuse Gen Zs. I think switching from a task force to all of a sudden saying people are demanding me to become a leader, something does not add up about him. Even the way of punching very softly towards the government and not moving too much on the ground, remaining on the social media and the mainstream media, makes me wonder whether this guy was brought in as an alternative for Matiang'i just because if we are to do a checklist, he fits everything. I don't know. Something is not adding up about him. It's just my gut feeling. I think all the decisions we are making nowadays is about desperation. We seems to be, today we are on Matiang'i, tomorrow we are talking about Gachagua, the other day, Maraga. There is some desperation because we started a war by saying that even a goat vying against Ruto, we vote for that goat or a sheep. So now we are thinking like, I don't know, we are now in a situation where that goat is not being found. We are not clear on which goat. So that's where we are. We didn't prepare very well. We just said, wacha tupigane, even a goat will. I would prefer a situation where we have one of our agencies, a young person like Western said. I don't know. That's my opinion. Thank you. I learned.
Thank you. I think Kibunja, you're speaking about the guy who was here yesterday, Rogers. From the perspective of balancing the space and making the space run properly, it's tougher than you think. Anaweza kuwa ni comedian, lakini kama ni comedian ambaye amelewa, ni ngumu sana kumkarao. So I appreciate your sentiments.
But you see, ukiweka ulevi kando, in so many instances he was being ignored.
No.
So at some point nilimfeel alijam. Weston kept on ignoring him.
No, it's okay.
He kept raising his hand.
Yeah, I was here. I believe that
He kept raising his hand.
I believe that I'm a very fair moderator. I was here, and I think,
you came halfway.
Okay.
So he kept being interrupted until that a lot of time was wasted during interruptions.
Okay. Asante, your point is well taken. Thank you. Appreciate it. Something that you just mentioned is that was Maraga or is Maraga a project of Ruto? I'll ask Weston and the people who follow the submissions. No, Malia. Thank you, host, for correcting me. Mimi niko napata tu watu wameinua mkono. Mjua kuna watu wengine wanakuja hivi kupiga tu kusikia story from first hand. So inaweza kuwa kina Magnum, kina Femi bado wameingia tu hapa tu kusikia story. Unajua hivi juu unapata hivi majokes haraka haraka. Wala utoke chini utaona utacheka kesho. Hizi majokes naweka sahihi. Anyway, Malia, umesikia Kibunja amesema Maraga ni project, we are not well prepared. What do you say to that? Alafu tupatie maoni yako Malia. Karibu. Unaona Leon, next time nikipanga mtaratara hapa hivi, usiwahi ni correct.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you very much. Weston, go ahead.
Mjadala, I don't know. I will talk about these things because it's imperative we talk about these things. That science thrives on ethics. If science operates outside of ethics, it could easily be murder. That's what it is. Scientists and doctors and governments that inject people into people's systems without caring about ethics, they could actually be genocidal. Consent, there's something called consent. That this is the vaccine that we are going to inject into you. These are the likely side effects. If you're an adult, you can say yes, you can say no. And nobody will forcefully inject that thing into you. If it's a child, they must obtain consent from the parent or the guardian. Ethics. So it can't be that your child goes to school and they come back home and they tell you, oh, at school we're being injected, and you think like you trust. You trust what? Communication, if I hear what communication means, is that you communicate to parents. And communication means kids go back home with a piece of paper. This is what the school plans to do. This is the program. This is what will be injected in your child. Do you consent? These are the likely side effects. What if your child just comes home and you see your child just, having convulsions? And then you are told, no, when they were at school. Have you people read about NGOs funded by Bill and Melinda Gates and the kind of unethical things they have been caught up in Africa and India? Do you know that? Such that Bill Gates is banned in India. No NGO is allowed to operate in India under that umbrella of Bill Gates Foundation. Because kids died over some experimental malaria and meningitis, whatever, vaccine. They died. Kids have ever been rendered paraplegic because of those, because vaccines are not innocent things. People react to vaccines differently, and we know that. The COVID thing, we know it. So what is this notion that the government is acting in your best interest when your government does not even communicate to you what they're doing? That you don't know what they do. When they communicate, it's in defensive, they're defensive. So will you trust them with your life or the life of your child? Would you? Where you find already it's difficult to obtain information on anything.